Cody Tap, Dusty Likens with you. You got me, you, and Dusty and Drew on the other side of the glass for the rest of the week.
Me, you, Dusty, and Drew? You got an imaginary friend here?
I do.
Hopefully he's not a piss baby. We don't need any of that today.
Oh, we're back to that today?
We're never leaving it.
Okay.
You don't leave that. You don't leave something that you've discovered has a little bit of legs to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that goes for everything, baby.
Don't forget, if you want to see the show, we'll be out tomorrow at No Other Pub starting at 10 a.m. I am told we will have things to give away. What are those things, you might ask? Your guess is as good as mine, but there are things.
I just thought you were setting me up for the most epic live radio failure ever, because I thought you were supposed to tell me I was supposed to say what they were.
No, they haven't told us what the giveaways will be. I just know that I'll have them. Of course, we'll be at No Other Pub tomorrow starting at 10, thanks to our friends over at Phillips. Part of the Big 12 tournament, you can save an extra 12 cents per gallon at Phillips 66 for using the Fuel Forward app, plus get 5 cents off per gallon with everyday savings offer. Restrictions apply, Kansas City area only. But yeah, we'll be out there from 10 to 2. We're going to be right next to the bowling alley. Are you a good bowler, Dusty?
So not really, but I have like one game in me where I think I can get to like a 175, which I feel like is fine. And after that,
That's a good game, yeah.
175 is great.
But then I get like Tommy John surgery, because then like my elbow's gone, which I think I did like at some point in my life, like blow out my UCL.
And it never recovered,
Just
right?
never fixed it, because like I never made a baseball. I got cut like twice in high school baseball. Politics are brutal.
Politics?
I'm just
You're
sour.
blaming politics?
I feel like I could have played. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot that goes on.
Coach's
Anyways,
son.
but what's that?
I said it was a coach's son, something like that.
Yeah, some guy's dad mowed the field and he played, and he couldn't hit his way out of
Still
a
salty.
sack.
You guys want to come out with me for? Let's just do one game. So Kramer,
Yeah.
you know Kramer he now over.
You want us to play in this?
He wants
Absolutely
us
not.
to play in one men's league woodbat game.
Absolutely not.
In?
No.
Come on,
Because there's one. Because there's
Get in
that
there
one.
at second base.
There's that one guy whose name's like Howard, who thinks he can still hum it across the plate, and I guarantee
you think he's coming in high and tight?
I guarantee you I get hit, and I don't want to get hit, and you can call me a baby,
I'll
wuss.
take the base. You know?
Not in men's wood bat baseball.
I'll take the base.
And yeah, dude, no, not a chance.
What about if they just let you toe the rubber? No plate. You just get a throw. Just Dusty from the dish. What do you think you can still bring it at? 65?
Well, we did it out here that one time. Remember we threw a baseball, but we had like a radar.
Yeah, and we were both in the what, high 60s?
No, I thought we were like
Low 60s?
I thought it was like 61 and like 58 or something like that. And then Nick threw it like 49 miles per hour.
And
dude, I'm not even kidding.
And then towards a cop.
And I'm not gonna lie about that. After we did that, I went home that day and I was like, what the hell? Oh yeah, I tried to throw as hard as I could for because we measured it out. I think I threw it I think the highest I got was like 61.
Oh man.
Which that's getting belted over a fence, because there's again another guy named like James who can still crank it 390 feet.
So it's been a long time. I used to fill in for a team every once in a while. And they put me at, everyone just wants to play outfield or first base or whatever. So they put me at third. I've been playing like the hot corner. And
Absolutely not.
The very last game I ever played in a men's wood bat league.
Yeah.
So first, I'm playing third base, and I made an error, which scored a run, so I felt bad enough about that.
Yeah.
Because, it's not like I'd been taking grounders in my free time. I got a single. Opposite field single. Felt good about myself. Got myself over to second.
Knock?
Yeah, got myself over to second base. First and second, one out. And I tried to score from second on a single to left center in the gap, which seems like a logical place to try to score from. And I was younger, so I thought I could still get down there. I was out by 8 feet. And I was like, okay, well, that can't be good. That guy was playing for the T-Bones that year before, so it turns out his arm's still pretty good. So he absolutely canned me. And then I had to pitch. The team was so hard up for pitching, Dusty. I had to come in the 9th inning in a tied baseball game. The very first pitch I threw, later I was told the hitter said, I can't believe you started me off with a changeup. Not the changeup. That's the one. That's the heater.
Yep.
That's the gas.
Yep.
I plunked a guy. I struck out a guy. And then I got out of it with a double play, thank God. And then I came back in for the 10th and game up a game-winning walk-off homer. Guy absolutely smacked it.
Somebody said, I'm 60 and I'll take you deep to right. Guaranteed. And then they said, someone's making excuses about their bowling based on old undiagnosed injury, talking about the politics of high school sports and why they didn't make the team. Might be the most middle-aged man thing I've ever heard. No doubt. And then they said I sound like a piss baby. Accepted. Nah, bowling's just not my bag. Also, when I go bowling, I do a fun, of course, gambling. I like to consider. I've already, bet
got
today.
some money today?
Yeah. But there's a game we play in bowling. If you get a strike, you get 2 cards. You get a spare, you get 1, and playing cards. And at the end of your round, you get to put together your best 5-card hand for poker. And that person wins the pot. You play for like $5 each.
Sure.
And then of course there's like side betting where somebody's like, you're rolling it pretty good. Let's go, head to head. So that game's pretty cool to kind of have fun with bowling. Then like once the beers start flowing, I don't care what I bowl as long as we make some money. Because you win one of those games and there's like 4 of you and everybody throws in $5. You've essentially paid for your night.
Yeah.
Or you paid for your beers. So hand shakes hand. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
As long as you have fun with it.
And you never feel like you're losing that much if you're just dropping $5.
Yeah. Someone asked if I bowled in the nude.
That was a trash of the day a week ago.
Really?
There was a nude bowling event. What do they call it?
It
Balls
was-
out bowling?
Yeah.
Are you guys comfortable in your naked skin?
In front of who? Myself? Or
Like if we all went out, like everybody that worked at 610, and it was like only requirement is you have to be naked.
Nah, I'm not interested. You can't even get a sentence out.
Follow-up question. Would you do a 610 the body calendar?
Oh, you're like posing for pictures?
And you put something over your yunk. Like you'd put like a microphone there and be like, September, Drew Nixon.
I also would not like to do that.
Headphones over Cody, January.
Who's getting the calendar? Is it us?
Who wants this calendar?
us?
I have a great idea.
Literally no one.
We would sell it and all proceeds go to charity.
Yeah.
There'd be some people that buy it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I don't know who would want that, but good.
I don't know who would want that either, but I can't think
But
of a
I
soul,
would feel comfortable bowling naked.
Okay, that's
Would
good
you?
to know.
Yeah.
Well, if we ever arrange that for the 610 Sports Radio Balls Out Bowling event,
Not the Flintstones,
we know that Dusty
though.
can be the
no
face
bare
of it.
feet. You have to wear bowling shoes.
That's fine. That's an awkward
me,
look, but
that's very
tube
weird.
socks?
Someone said my photo would be with the Club 610 sign covering.
That'd be sick.
That'd be great.
That'd be sick. With like a cocktail in your hand?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a scary October Carrington.
That's a pretty. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll get to Big 12 basketball. Drew went out to the games last night.
And I was
K-State with the
criticized
big
for
win.
going out to the games too.
I know, from our guy Aaron Ladd. He's
Your
going
guy.
after you, Drew. He's going after or Dusty. He's going after Drew. He's going after everybody.
Yeah, Aaron Ladd just needs to chill a little bit.
It's out to get everybody. I don't know why.
He's one of those guys.
But I want to start things off by talking about the AFC a little bit because we're early in the free agency period, but the heavy hitters are gone, right? We know the teams and who they're going to cut. We know the teams and who they're targeting. Maybe there's 1, 2, 3 more big names left out there. But for the most part, you're going to be doing a little bit of roster building on the side with more cuts maybe coming for these. I asked myself a very simple question. Is the AFC West, the rest of the AFC West, closer to the Chiefs or further away? And I am convinced they are not just further away, much further away. Because as it sits right now, the Chargers have cut multiple players that they have been relying on for 2 or 3 years. So unless they nail the draft, they're further away. Unless the coaching is going to make up the gap in difference in talent on the roster. The Broncos are definitely further away. Russell Wilson wasn't good, but Jared Stidham is worse. Maybe to be named first-round quarterback could change my answer here, but they're further away. They trade away Judy. Justin Simmons, the all-pro safety, is gone.
Yeah.
And then the Raiders are doing nothing. They're just spending $125 million on a defensive tackle, and they got Aiden O'Connell going up against Gardner Minshew. Every single team is further away from the Chiefs as it sits right now.
It also seems that every team that you just mentioned is very poor when it comes to salary cap. Like they're out of money and they don't have a quarterback. But obviously the Chargers do, but every team is interesting to me in the division of the AFC, right? Like you look at the Broncos. They're poverty-stricken because of what they paid Russell Wilson, and now he doesn't even play for their team. They get rid of Jerry Jeudy. They're going to bring in some young guy at quarterback. Sean Payton's got all the pressure in the world to turn that franchise around from going absolutely terrible 2 years before he got there to not being a very good team last year. And now you have this year where you've gotten the cancer out of the locker room, apparently, of Russell Wilson, because nobody liked him. He's gone. They didn't like him if they're willing to pay him the money that they are to just get rid of him. The Raiders, we know Mark Davis, right? A, you don't trust a guy like that with a haircut like that. Like, no way.
No, he's never going to build the team.
Two, there was reports last year that they couldn't fire Josh McDaniel because it would cost them too much money to do so. And then you look at
They fired him anyway.
exactly because you just couldn't do it. Like the team had a meeting
So
where they
bad.
had a roast of their coach, and it was like Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs, and Devontae Adams all literally were like, "Here's the deal: this guy sucks. We don't like his play calling." And then a week later, he was fired. They bring in Antonio Pierce, and you saw what the problem was, right? And when you look at your division, chalk this under things you love to see. The Chiefs won this division last year for an 8th consecutive year. They won the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in 6 years. And not only that, they haven't been as active as maybe a lot of people would like them to be, but they did it with the roster they had. So any addition they have, they're that much further ahead of their division, and their division they're already further ahead of. And by the way, those Chargers also apparently low on money, right? Khalil Mack still in the discussion of maybe getting traded. Obviously, though, they can renegotiate. Keenan Allen, that name was hot yesterday. Mike Williams, that name was boiling and officially is gone. And now there's reports that maybe there was somebody from One Arrowhead Drive calling his cell phone or his agent, which is hilarious. You know my opinion on in division trading. Love that. That's a huge
Drew
deal to me.
Tranquil was trying hard on
Him and
Twitter last
Hollywood
night.
Brown. And the other thing too is that like the Chiefs, which sounds almost dumb to say because we all wanted them to go get a wide receiver, but we were judging that decision based on the first 8 weeks of their season. And then they figured it out, and I think they realized that Rashee Rice is a little bit better than they thought. It could be a solidified number 2, the elevated version of a Sammy Watkins, Juju Smith-Schuster, type of guy. And now there's still some names out there that could be a sexy pickup for the Chiefs. There's also a loaded draft where I think we can trust the GM that runs this team to do something right in that draft. Plus, there's still a Jarius Sneed conversation. So the Chiefs still have many options to take not 1, but 2, possibly 3 steps ahead of a division that they've absolutely housed and owned for 3 or for 8 consecutive years.
That's what it is. The fact that they have separated themselves and they haven't even brought up a wide receiver yet,
Yeah.
right? We haven't brought up Tyler Boyd, whose name's getting kicked around now
Yeah.
over at The Athletic, specifically the Steelers beat reporter,
Yeah.
saying that that's a hang up and maybe
Drew's
getting there.
boy.
Yeah, he doesn't want him to go there. He told me, and you have to remember, Drew grew up and is a lifelong Cincinnati fan, so he hates the Steelers because the Steelers are everything you're not.
They're
They've
the
won
word- I hate
championships.
them.
They do nothing but win. He said he'd rather Tyler Boyd go to the Steelers than the Chiefs.
He's from Pittsburgh. It makes more sense. And then also, by the way, in the report, the comment section is, I'd rather him go to Pittsburgh. I'd rather him go to Pittsburgh. Him going to KC is way worse.
Wow, so Cincinnati fans, it's nice to be hated.
If we're going to get something from Cincinnati, it's got to be a little bit more than Irv Smith.
Yeah, let's get a good player.
Yeah. Like Irv Smith is like a pimento cheese appetizer. T. Higgins
I don't even know if
is
he's that. He's like a cracker.
yeah.
A little saltine cracker.
Okay. I don't know if you can say that
For your
anymore these
soup.
days. Well, I guess Shane Gillis was able to say it on Saturday Night Live. But
It's food.
Okay,
The
okay.
food,
The
Dusty.
food.
Oh.
The food.
Cracker.
okay. Sorry, I'm in like after hours mode already. But anyway, yeah, I mean, T. Higgins would be like an entree, right? Like T. Higgins is like a
Yes. Yes.
T.
the
Higgins is like
entree.
a ribeye with some garlic, mashed
Yes.
potatoes, and asparagus. And Irv Smith is just sardines.
Tyler Boyd is,
He's an appetizer. He's
Yeah.
a solid app.
yes.
I don't
Like
know
a
what we're-
top tier app.
Yeah, like a salmon
a
dip.
shared app. Yeah.
like a salmon dip.
Not just one of those, you go to the fancy restaurants, got like,
He's like a white cheese dip from a Mexican restaurant. Everybody likes it.
what do you think
Nobody's
the
gonna
best,
be like, no thanks.
what's the best fancy restaurant app?
I love Third Street's social. I love their Brussels sprout and cauliflower app.
Interesting.
It's good. It comes like a dill sauce, and they like
Okay.
put a balsamic glaze over the top. Big time. I think you can't go wrong with wings. That's another good one, especially if they're like a Nashville hot.
Wings are great. I like almost
You're talking
all
about
the seafood.
shareable type, right?
Yeah, I like all the seafood apps. You
Yeah.
can talk me into calamari. You can talk me into if the crab cakes are big
Shrimp.
enough. Any of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I can talk to any of that. But I just wonder what the AFC can even do because they're going to add a wide receiver. Does anyone think the Chiefs are going to go through this free agency period and not add a single wide receiver via either trade or free agency? They're not going the whole way.
Yeah. Right.
Which means no matter what, assuming that they're at least not bombing their first round pick at wide receiver, their second round pick at wide receiver, that unit's improved.
Yeah.
And 2 quarterback situations got worse or stayed the same. Aiden O'Connell got worse. The Broncos is likely going to get worse.
They got Gardner Minshew.
Is that? I mean,
He's got to be better than Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell didn't complete a pass, which is still the saddest stat in my Chiefs following history.
Losing that game.
Didn't complete a pass for 3 consecutive quarters, and they still won.
And then
that hurts.
And
still.
then Jim Harbaugh's coming in. And he's talking about running the ball 40 times a game.
But they just got rid of their big guy wide receiver, their number 1 running back, and they changed offensive coordinators. And their coach hasn't coached in the NFL in 5+ years.
Who is their running back right now?
Who?
Chargers.
They went and got somebody.
Is Joshua Kelly still on the?
He's got to be.
Because the draft isn't. I mean, there's some good running backs, but it's not like there's no Bijan, there's no, McCaffrey, there's no Saquon.
Oh, Gus Edwards,
because he came over with the
yes.
Ravens running back coach, who's now their OC.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, at least they know. I think Gus Edwards is actually a good signing.
It's
not going to move.
He's not their RB1 though.
No.
As of right now, he is. I guess.
Yeah, on the roster. But
they'll probably target someone.
Or they'll go draft somebody.
God, I just don't I don't see anybody it's again not a threat. This is why I got asked 2 years ago if I thought the Chiefs had a chance to break the record. I'm like, who's close? 2 of those teams have to start over. The Broncos have to start
what is the
over
record?
at
10?
quarterback. 11.
And
here's
New
the problem.
England?
So
they're what now, 9 or 8? They're 8.
So you could make an argument for the Broncos, right? Because, hey, rookie quarterback, rookie deal. They don't have a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. They have a rookie quarterback, and they're still paying Russell Wilson a ton of money for each of the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So they've erased 2 years of the quarterback on a rookie deal where you can do what the Texans did this offseason. The Texans got closer to the Chiefs than anyone else in the division so far in this offseason. Their moves make sense because, again, rookie quarterback, rookie deal, plenty of draft picks. They can actually do something with it. Those other teams are just falling further behind, including the Chargers, even though I liked their head coaching hire. But I'm still convinced that sometime before Friday, and they have to pay $9 and $6 million roster bonuses on 2 other players they haven't done anything with. I'm not convinced that Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are both going to find their way through the roster. I think they said Mack probably will. But Bosa, Allen, they're going to find a way to keep everybody? I don't think so.
And Bosa's got that injury, right? I forget what his injury was.
It doesn't matter. He always has an injury.
That's true.
Their best hope, I think, would be Bosa stays healthy up to the trade deadline, and then they just get rid of him. And then somebody's dumb enough to say, you know what?
You better trade him now.
Because San Francisco lost Chase Young, right?
Yeah.
He's gone.
He's
and Eric Armstead.
Did they just go get the brothers? That's kind of fun.
Put the Bosas together?
Yeah.
It could be fun. It's at least change of pace at least a little
Might
bit.
be too expensive, but yeah, it'd be kind of I don't know. Joey Bosa is just weird.
Yeah.
He sounds like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Literally, if you pulled up any Joey Bosa audio and then played right after it oh, wait, was she a real big fat person? It's the same voice. It creeps me out.
I haven't watched that movie in so long.
Great movie, great book.
I haven't read the book.
Yeah, I found the book in 8th grade and secretly was able to rent it. And I don't know if I was supposed to rent that in 8th grade. I read that in Misery in 8th grade.
Misery. I don't think I read The Stand in 7th grade, which is pretty bleak for a kid.
Yeah.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we're going to get to what the Chiefs should do in free agency if it meant they couldn't do it in the draft. But yesterday, Big 12 tournament, the first day, none of the locals, low-seeded teams. We're not going to get all fired up about that just yet. But KU and K-State played, and we'll get to Missouri a little bit later in the SEC tournament. That's real history set there.
That's where you should have Aaron Ladd on.
Yeah.
Be like, your great grandmother wasn't even alive the last time they didn't win a conference game.
How far back in the Ladd family ancestry tree do we have to go before it took this long to lose this many SEC
Got to
games?
be at least 3 grandparents.
So we can't go back. We can't ignore Missouri today, and we won't. But let's start with the Big 12 tournament in KU and K-State. The first one to get out of the way. Kansas still made the right choice because look at what Kansas is without their 2 best players playing well. They stink. They have no depth. They have 5 good players, and 2 of them are hurt. So if you try to play the 2 semi-hurt players, you probably get past Cincinnati, a team in which you were down by 20, made it 2 points, and then immediately lost by 20 anyway.
As soon as KJ Adams hit that basketball goal, it was done.
Yeah, and KJ Adams played really well for a while. But
But he's not their guy.
You need the only 5 players who are good on your roster to be healthy. This is the worst season Bill Self has ever had at Kansas. He still can salvage it, This is what he views. I don't think it matters if they're a 3 or a 5. If they weren't healthy, they were losing in the first or at best the second round anyway. At least if these players are healthy, you'd give them some long shot to make a Sweet 16. I still happen to think they're going to be out in the first weekend.
You think they lose first weekend?
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think
They're losing to a 14th, or what would they lose to? A 15th seed?
They would lose
or to the 4-5 matchup, or to the
yeah.
6, whatever they would face in the second round.
Yeah.
The 6-3 matchup, the 4-5 matchup, wherever you've got them seated.
I mean, they have what you would think would be like a good cliche tournament style team, which is they have the veteran point guard in DeJuan Harris, who's an assist machine, and they have the big man, and they have the power forward in McCullough. KJ Adams is not your main point scorer, but he's the good number 3 option in that offense. So if all those guys are healthy, which none of them have been really healthy all year, KJ or Kevin McCullough's been out with that shoulder injury for most of the season or most of conference play. Hunter Dickinson, some would say, has he been a disappointment for his hype train that was coming to Kansas in the
Still
transfer?
scored 19 and 10 this season.
So I don't know if you could consider that a disappointment. And, DeJuan Harris, who can still come back next year, I believe is coming back next year, who's your veteran point guard. That's the 3 sort of good mixture you want. Great 2-man option down low. They can run the high-low for Bill Self. The thing is, it just hasn't consistently been there this year. They've got, they've gotten inconsistent play from their role players in Furpy.
They have no bench.
Yeah, Furpy
no
came
depth.
up hot,
players, that's what
and
they
then
have.
all of a sudden it just kind of fizzled out. Timberlake, he's not your typical KU role player. Interesting hairstyle, too. I haven't yet to figure that out.
Can't make threes.
Very streaky. So, yeah, they're a 4-5 seed, but this is what's crazy is to kind of give him a little bit of credit in his worst year with the Kansas Jayhawks, if you want to call it that. This has probably been the best the Big 12 has been in, 10, 15 years.
And it's the worst Kansas has been since Bill Self arrived at Kansas. That's a bad timing.
Which is interesting
Toughest Big 12, worst Big
Which is
Bill
interesting
Self
that
team.
when the talent got the best, KU kind of became more equal to everybody else. So, yeah, Sweet 16, I think, is house money. Getting out of the first weekend would be considered, I think, house money because what were you saying? If you get in the second round, that 5-4 matchup, that's always, crazy. But we always see in every year in March, there's always a 12-5 upset, and this could happen. And I know there's a lot of Kansas haters out there, but there's a lot of Kansas supporters, too, that know that both sides can agree this is true. Bill Self goes in there as a 4 seed, and all of a sudden we're in the Elite 8, and you got Holly Rowe doing a one-on-one in 2 weeks after the tournament has started with Bill Self going, they doubted you. Here you are, Kansas. Or everybody gets their wish and Kansas loses in the first round and Carrington does 2 full hours on it on the drive.
Yeah, and he probably will.
I was talking to Rob from the drive, KU grad, of course, big KU supporter.
Big time depressed right now.
And I was like, we were talking about, he was like, yeah, I think this team's done early on. And I was like, yeah, but everybody says that. They're going to be the team that makes that run when nobody expects it because it's KU and they're just going to figure it out. The thing, too, it was interesting. I did not stay for the whole game at T-Mobile. I went back home and I turned it on, and Fran Fraschilla was knocking Bill Self. He said, Kansas has got to recruit better. The recruiting is bad. He was going after Bill Self a little bit, and I think not to go after recruiting, but the depth of the team's not there. Like the role,
No, he had a bad year.
They don't have a team that's built to win a championship. And I think before even with Hunter, if you took Hunter Dickinson and Kevin McCullough out, I don't know if they're a tournament team.
Oh, no.
Based on what we saw.
Yeah, but
against
if I said
Houston,
that about literally any team in
Sure.
college basketball, I said, take away their 2 best players. Is anybody a
Sure.
tournament team? Let's get to the K-State in for just a minute, Drew, because you were texting us after you were leaving. You think they
might be
deserve
in.
to be in the tournament now?
they might have played themselves in. And the
Dude, they got to win at least one more game. I think that they need to make the finals. I don't know that they can just get in by beating Iowa State tonight. Do you guys think that they're in?
If they beat Iowa State, I think they beat Iowa State, they're in.
They played a great game against Texas.
Agreed.
They were down 10 and played
Because Iowa
fantastic in the
State's
second
what,
half.
a 2 or a 3 seed right
Iowa
now?
State's currently a 2.
Yeah, they're in. If they beat Kansas, Iowa State, that's a 4 seed and a 2 seed that you've beaten in your conference tournament.
And
Those are
beating the
big
2
wins.
seed
And you
twice
have
in
the
a week.
RPI of the Big 12. They're in if they beat Iowa State.
The reason why I say that is because Oklahoma losing to TCU yesterday. Oklahoma already has been in as a 9. Texas was in as an 8. If you look at just the basics of the resume from K-State, Oklahoma, and Texas's perspective, K-State has a better record against top 25 teams. They have the exact same record now, conference and overall, as Oklahoma does. And Texas is one game ahead of them, but they
those
just beat
teams
Texas.
finished way ahead in the Big 12 standings.
They finished one game ahead of
Can't
them.
be putting the 10th placed team in this. Like, Texas was 7.
But you have to factor in the
That's
Big
where we're
12
at, though.
too.
The Big 12 is because, Cody, I think that one game is that jump from 7 to 10 plus a tiebreaker. So I think like Texas beat K-State earlier in the season, plus they had one better win. They had one more win in conference. That's enough, I think, with how competitive the Big 12 is to get you to 7. My thing is, I know that it's sort of recency bias, but the biggest games matter a little bit more. Interconference tournament, when you have to win to get in and show that you are a caliber NCAA tournament team. Oklahoma, tough loss yesterday. They've got some players that are at Porter Mosier after the game was, talking about that. But Texas loses head-to-head to K-State. K-State has, I think, 2 more top 25 wins than Texas does already. So based on just those simple statistics, I think you can argue K-State belongs where Texas is, and that right now is a 9 seed, according to Jerry Palm.
I just don't want to let one game, one win, when Kansas State has been incredibly mediocre for a big chunk of the season. They're not a bad team. They've never been a bad team. This is not like the Missouri end of things, but they have spent a long time in this season floating in no man's land.
Yeah.
Everybody in the Big 12's got a big win. UCF's got big wins in the Big 12, right? Everybody's got big wins there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that you got to get to at least, I would think the semis, I don't know if the quarters get you there, but they got to beat Iowa State tonight. That's for sure.
The saving grace for Texas is they played UConn and Marquette early in the year. 2 teams that are in the top 10.
Yeah, that helps
UConn,
them.
of course, in the top 3. That helps when you're non-conference, even though you lose the games. From the strength of schedule perspective, you have that. I think K-State should be in the conversation now in the bubble. Whether they're in or not, I don't know. But they're if they beat Iowa State, I think they are in for sure. And Texas is probably if they're replacing a Big 12 team, Texas is out and K-State's in.
They would have the win against them. When we come back, there was a signing at wide receiver yesterday, and Calvin Ridley. We talk about whether or not that number made any sense.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
FanDuel's putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bet wins. You can bet on the NBA with a wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays, player props, in-game betting, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/610Bob. That's FanDuel.com/610Bob and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA and of 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
So I'm about to head out of town again, and anytime I'm getting ready to pack, I remind myself what I don't have to pack anymore, which is nice, not to think about contact lenses, contact solution, my glasses, all of that. Something I used to have to deal with when I was traveling, which was kind of a pain in the butt. Not anymore, thanks to DuraVision, thanks to SBK Advanced LASIK, a procedure I went in for just 2 days after my free consultation, where they put together a specific plan that fits my vision goals going forward. And now I just wake up. I don't need glasses. I don't need contacts. And I don't need to deal with that packing when I'm forgetting contact solution, because that's something I used to do. I used to forget the contact solution. I'd have to run to the store while you're on vacation. You don't want to waste your time dealing with that. And you don't have to live that way anymore if you go in for that free consultation. 913-491-3330. That's the phone number to call up DuraVision, 913-491-3330, or go online to DuraVision.com and make your life easier and perhaps get rid of those contacts and glasses as well.
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope. whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to victorychrysler.com.
At LL Flooring, we've been a trusted partner to pros for over 30 years. With over 400 nationwide warehouses full of in-stock, job-ready inventory, you'll get what you need. And our exclusive pro pricing means that pros never pay retail. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. So we're gonna do it right. Sign up for a free pro account today to start getting pro benefits. LL Flooring, every step covered.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Not all water heaters are made equally. Some can be temperamental. Some can be unreliable and don't even think about what happens if you have neighbors downstairs.
Why is it raining inside my apartment?
Not with a Navien tankless water heater. You'll never run out of hot water. You only heat water when you need it, saving you tons in utility costs. Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. Pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-473-3993 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-473-3993. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-473-3993.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? You need Jay's Southland Tow Service. They have over 20 years of experience servicing the KC Metro. They specialize in light, medium, and heavy duty, as well as commercial transport and construction equipment. Keep this number handy, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, Jay's Southland Tow Service. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Brought to you by Gomer's. 5 locations in the KC Metro or shop online at gomers.com. Gomer's has all you need to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Voted KC's #1 liquor store, we strive to be the best in price, selection, and service. With 5 locations in the KC Metro or shop online at gomers.com.
Don't forget, our tournament coverage is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. About 10 minutes, we'll get into something the Royals and Chiefs are doing regarding the stadiums that I find of interest. Plus, Kyle Pitts had an interesting request for Kirk Cousins. Did you hear Kirk Cousins' tweet this morning? I think they're going a little too far with the Kirk Cousins chain stuff. They posted a photo of him or a video of him shirtless on their account this morning with a bunch of new chains, not just the ones that said Dirty Bird that he wore in the press conference yesterday. And he said this.
Big Kirko wakes up dripping like this.
So.
Okay.
That's a thing. That's a real thing that exists. But per usual in this show, Dusty, you want to talk a little wide receiver?
Yeah.
Because it turns out there's a trio now that we get to talk about. Calvin Ridley signs a massive contract. That was a name that Chiefs fans are tossing around. Is there any way on earth you would have agreed to $50 million guaranteed, 4 years, $92 million for Calvin Ridley? That's a no.
Yeah.
Then there's the rumor that Odell Beckham Jr. would like to, this exact quote said, he would like to play for the Chiefs, but he would also like a long-term contract with a lot of money behind it. So that's a no.
LOL.
And then we get to the Athletic report from this morning from their beat reporter that says, Tyler Boyd to Pittsburgh still plausible. Seems like one of the hiccups that could stop that from happening is the Chiefs' interest in Tyler Boyd. As I'm watching this wide receiver market, the biggest problem I have is I think they're right back to the bargain bin. If Odell Beckham is out here trying to get one big payday, I can't believe he got it from the Ravens last year. He'd like to dip back in the well for a multi-year payday? No chance. And then I saw Calvin Ridley's number. I'm like, well, I wouldn't have come anywhere near that if I were the Chiefs. No. They've got to kind of adjust their expectation at wide receiver a little bit if this is what the wide receivers want on the market.
Yeah, I mean, and look, they made a splash already, right? They gave Chris Jones a ton of money. So there's already spending in free agency. They did something that everybody wants them to do. My thing is Hollywood Brown wanted by Chiefs fans because he's a free agent wide receiver that is better than Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney, or do they want more, or do they want Hollywood Brown because they want them to sign a wide receiver? Because
I think it's more that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're paying enough attention to the production.
How much better do you think Hollywood Brown is than McCole Hardman? Is that disrespect for me?
No, 10%.
Okay.
15%. Look, Hollywood Brown does have a 1,000-yard season under his belt. McCole doesn't have that. But
Sure.
he does have like an almost 700-yard season, I think, under his belt.
Okay. So if he's somewhat of a step up of McCole Hardman, that should tell you where the Chiefs probably plan on paying him for what they think he's worth. The other thing that the Chiefs have that nobody else has is that they give you the opportunity to do something great. And you can either say yes or you can say no and say, I'm going to go with the money that I know I'm going to get. I'm not going to go with the potential money that I might get and the potential ring that I could probably get. But how many years in the last 6 years have we heard, and now your winners of Super Bowl fill in the number, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Like if the ring is the thing that actually means the most to you,
yeah,
the only place to play is Kansas City. But you and I both know it's a pretty rare instance for a player to take less money in order to be a champion. Same money, sure. All things created equal money, sure. But I honestly, like when I say bargain bin shop, if I'm going to bargain bin shop, it might as well be a young player. You know, it might as well be a Curtis Samuel type. The hell do I want to be in the Odell Beckham Jr. business for? He had 35 catches last year for 565 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's out here saying he wants a multi-year deal. He's 31 years old.
Isaiah Pacheco had more receptions.
Yes, I'm not interested.
Like Pacheco had more receptions last year than Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. was what I would consider a disappointment for what Baltimore thought he was going to be. And I still believe wholeheartedly to this day that it was Brett Veach that offered him the $4 million. I will go to my grave believing that until I'm proven, wrong or right. And I think that when you look at where the Chiefs are at, like we've said this before, Calvin Ridley, that contract is absurd. And if there's anyone who loves that contract, it's 2 wide receivers that I can think of right at the top of my head. And that's Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Both of those guys see that contract, and now they can put that out and say, if Calvin Ridley's getting this, it reminded me of the Christian Kirk contract a couple years ago when Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams and those guys, A.J. Brown, got all that money.
Yeah, everyone just got
where it was like Christian Kirk got $85 million. Everyone goes, Christian Kirk's getting $85 million? what the hell are these other guys going to get? And then it was like Devontae Adams signs. And then it's like Tyreek Hill, who was supposedly negotiating with, $25 million, $24 million with the Chiefs, all of a sudden got a text from Drew Rosenhaus said, leave the office now. We got to renegotiate. And Tyreek Hill's like, okay, I want 30. And Tyreek Hill got 30. And if that's going to happen, that's going to happen with this Calvin Ridley contract. And I think what the Chiefs looked at is, and like I said this in the first part of the show, I think last year when we watched the Chiefs for the first 8 weeks of the season, there was 0 wide receivers on this team. And everybody was like, well, when are they going to give Rashee Rice a chance? They gave Rashee Rice a chance. And I've said from day one that I think that Rashee Rice is the top number 2 wide receiver, or could be the top number 2 wide receiver in the NFL with the addition of Mahomes and Andy Reid and their offensive scheme and the talent that's around him. I don't know if he's a wide receiver 1, but I think he could be.
But I wouldn't rule it out. Does that make sense? Like, I think it'd be foolish to rule it out.
Yeah, because I think it depends on the scenario, and he's in one of those with the Chiefs. Like, Juju Smith-Schuster was Patrick Mahomes' wide receiver number 1, but we know that Juju Smith-Schuster is no wide receiver 1. But on the team that he was on, he was considered that. So with the evolution that we saw with Rashee Rice last year on this team, and we saw how that got them to the Super Bowl, who was huge in overtime, who was big in the playoff run, and when they figured it out that simplicity worked for this team, it worked. So maybe they don't think that they need to go get one of these wide receivers in the free agency that is expected to get a lot of money. What they think is, you know what we'll do? We'll keep the money in-house. We'll give it to Chris Jones. We'll give it to Drew Tranquill. We'll bring back Mike Pennell. And then when it's all said and done and nobody wants to give us a trade for L'Jarius Sneed, what we like, we'll just give L'Jarius Sneed a 3-year contract, give him the money, and we'll just run our defense back with the same offense, and we'll find somebody in the draft that we know is deep, because we've heard it all year long on the Character Concerns podcast, on every single show that does 610 Sports Radio, that there's a lot of wide receivers in the draft. And if they believe that they can go find one that can be just as good as the numbers that maybe a, Daryl Mooney can put up, that maybe a Curtis Samuel can put up, that you can find a guy that's a rookie that can go give you 700 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 45 catches. You can find that in the draft in the second round or something like that. Then you don't need to spend where you don't necessarily need to spend.
And that's why, even if it's like Tyler Boyd or some level there or slightly below, or Curtis Samuel, it's why I'm fine. Like, I think sometimes the overreaction, not overreaction, but the looking at how bad last year's wide receivers were for as long as they were, make you feel like, God, they need somebody so bad. There were a little over 30 wide receivers last year who finished with more than 1,000 yards. That's it. A little over 30. And the Chiefs right now, and so if you say, hey, how about finished over Rashee Rice's number, over 900? Okay, we get closer to 40, but still under that number. So let's just round up for the sake. 40 wide receivers, 30 NFL teams. Each team is good for about 1.25 900 or greater wide receivers based on that number. The Chiefs have 2 in-house already. Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce. That's presuming no improvement back to the norm with Travis Kelce, or no improvement from Rashee Rice. If even 10% improvement comes from either, you're going to be one of the few teams in the NFL with 2 capable 1,000-yard wide receivers. The player you should be looking for in free agency is not better than Rashee Rice or better than Travis Kelce, but we'll just treat him like a wide receiver in this case. It should be the person below that, and then you should be hoping that you don't mess up at wide receiver in the second round, and that the Chiefs will roll him in relatively early. Because, I'll be honest, I can almost guarantee you, in the early going, who we'll get tired of, in week 6 or 7, we'll be like, I can't believe Sky Moore and Justin Watson are getting more snaps than blank wide receiver they drafted in the second round. And you're going to be annoyed for a while.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same thing as Rashee Rice, and we're going to have to wait and wait and wait for that thing to cycle through. But, when I look at Calvin Ridley's number, now I'm even more convinced that if you're going to go find a wide receiver, screw this free agency thing and wait for the team that doesn't want to pay their wide receiver massive money and just go trade.
Yeah.
You pay up the money.
I think the 2 things I'll fire back towards you is, one, do you think that the development that they saw in Rashee Rice and the trust that Mahomes was able to get with him kind of lengthens the chain on rookie wide receivers in an Andy Reid offense? Like, if they can see certain things, like, you know what, we opened up Rashee Rice and gave him more of a workload to see what he could do, and it was successful. Now, again, I'm not saying everybody's Rashee Rice, but also, we gave Rice a little bit more of an expansion. He did well. Mahomes kind of got with him and all that. Do you think that kind of has lengthened the chain? And then the other part about it is, just because you have money doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend it. We grew up with kids all the time that would, you go out and
the Chiefs for a title for 3, I kind of want them to drop every dime to try to make this right. I got to be honest.
And that's fine.
For the 3-peat, I want them to spend every nickel. I want week 10 for them to have like 5 cents available in cap space.
And that's a fine assessment to have too. But I mean, just because you have that doesn't mean you necessarily have to spend it. I know that the salary cap went up, and we saw the numbers, and we see Mahomes renegotiate his contract to open up cap space as well, which makes us all believe, and I still believe something is going to happen, but it makes us all believe that, like, okay, you have the money, you should be able to go spend it, especially if you want to win a 3rd straight ring. Go do it. But again, just because you have it doesn't mean you have to spend it. And then when the opportunity does happen, when there is a hot shot free agent, and you don't think the Chiefs would go after somebody like that because they never have, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we've been sitting on, a pile over here. Now let's go do it. And let's go make another run of, 2, possible 3 again. Then all of a sudden we're looking at Patrick Mahomes. We're like, oh, they spent their money well. They did well in future. They zigged when everybody else zagged. And now all of a sudden they've gotten one out of, they went back-to-back, 1-1. They went back-to-back, 1-2. They didn't get the three-peat, but in 2 years from now, they're going to back-to-back again. You're like, okay, they got a chance to win 5 Super Bowls in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because of how they strategically did it. And then we go back and think, remember when all those free agent wide receivers there and the cap went up and they didn't spend any money, but, they were still competitive and still got to the AFC Championship game. And then 2 years later, we're in the conversation of, we just had another, parade. We had another Super Bowl. It's like, I just got to a point where do I think they should spend? I'm with you. I'm greedy.
I want the three-peat.
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm also at the point where I'm like, you know what? Feet are on the ottoman behind my head. Whatever Brett Veach is thinking, I am in full control being like, you know what? Do what you got to do. I trust you doing the right thing. Just do it. Whatever it is you want to do it.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll talk more about the trades and why teams seemingly won't do it with the Chiefs anymore. But I thought this was interesting. Yesterday it was announced that the Chiefs and Royals are getting ready to donate $500,000 each to a $1 million plan, right, for their Vote Yes, Add Buy budget. To this point, Dusty, they had contributed about $80,000. Did they think it's in trouble?
No.
You just think that this is like, it's spend time?
This is just another one of those.
Or is it like, because to that point, you'd only spent $80,000 and now you're rolling out the full $1 million plan?
Yeah.
Or in 2 weeks, it's going to be a $2 million plan.
Yeah.
What amount of money does it have to be before I'm like, oh, they're worried about it or they're a little concerned about it? Because these votes haven't been going to book lately in cities the way they used to. There's more pushback in other major cities than there have been lately on these things.
I think this is just another peel or another layer of the onion of like political stuff. I mean, I've watched a lot of episodes of The Wire. I know how things work.
You think this is like Stringer Bell trying to get this condo made and I got to grease the wheels a little bit more? Is that what you're describing?
2 weeks ago, they did the Mahomes, Bobby Witt Jr., Sal Perez, whoever else was in the video. Of like,
they just keep putting a little more cheese out there.
The next week, all of a sudden, there's, each team's giving up $500,000 to, put towards the stadium, which is like, what, $10 to you and I? And then, then next week, we'll get something else. And, I still believe that if billionaires want something, billionaires get what they tend to get. And I think that this will still pass. I think there's still people that are heavy on their decision. Look, I do my best to watch the news every night. I know it can be toxic, but man, I just watched Kevin Holmes do a one-on-one with Mark Donovan in Arrowhead Stadium.
Did you hear
talking about it?
Yeah, but listen to what he had to say about it. This is what he said about his options if this doesn't pass on April 4th.
Yep.
I just know that for us, the Chiefs, we would have to look at all of our options.
Do those options include leaving Kansas City, Missouri?
I think they would have to include leaving Kansas City, but our goal here is that we want to stay here. And we're willing to accept a deal, which is actually better for the county to stay here.
Now, look, he's pretty much just trained Kansas.
Donovan's so good. Like, he's just the perfect guy for that role.
He's a pro.
He is a definite pro.
Yeah, he's a pro.
I envy his, swag. Like, it's just always
Is it because of that one photo in the after party when it's like
just
Travis and somehow Mark Donovan's in the background of it?
He's just, I don't know, man. Like, his demeanor, his suit, his confidence, like, that's not an easy interview to do. That's a one-on-one, one-camera shot in the stadium.
No
and
way to dodge the
and
questions.
Every single question is right there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, do I think a deal is going to get done in Kansas City? I do. Do I think there's people that are pissed off about it? For sure. Do I think there's people that are also like kind of in the dark that are like, you know what? I'm not totally in agreement of having an extended tax, but also like I don't want to lose my teams. Like, could you imagine Kansas City if they don't play here? Now they'd still be close, but they just wouldn't be in Jackson County. So I mean, I didn't think that this was ever going to get this messy, if I can be honest. I thought that there would
You thought it'd be smooth sailing. Chiefs are back-to-back.
Boy, did I learn quickly.
The truth is, this is what my take was 2 weeks ago, and I think what really shifted here. The Chiefs should be so thankful they're in this together. For like months, I thought, boy, the Royals need the Chiefs. Oh, God, they need the Chiefs. They need someone to prove winning organization along the backs of, should we be giving this to winners? The Chiefs desperately need the Royals because guess whose thing is sexier to build? Like, that's we can admit. Like, the Arrowhead plan's kind of like, it's whatever. Like, they want to spend the money to, like, part of that money is going to just, like, keeping the infrastructure going. They've admitted that. Things we'll never see. Just like, seal coating some concrete. I don't know. But they've got plans to try to keep that baby moving. And then other than that, they're just putting a big field in a small little stage and bulldozing Kaufman. Okay. Yeah. Not exciting.
I thought there'd be
Downtown
a-
baseball. Brand new stadium down in Power Line. That's fun. Okay, I'm interested. Stadium design, that's fun. Their plan's just kind of, They're just the winner. You got one winner attached to one more fun project. That's why they're a good balance.
Yeah. Watch the next news that we get is that Missouri is now soon to accept sports gambling.
Oh, please. I'm trying to get that thing on the ballot so I can stop driving over to the state line. You and I have to make all of our bets before we leave work.
You're here every day, though.
I am here every day.
Yeah.
I place my bets. Yeah, but you know what I want to do?
All my bets come at 5:30 p.m.
I want to be able to live bet.
Do you, though? Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
might
mean?
get myself in a little bit of trouble.
Less is more sometimes. Less can be more.
Live betting NFL games is fun. Live betting.
Oh, could you
other
imagine
sports
live
is
betting the Super
not.
How many people in Kansas live bet the Super Bowl when the Chiefs were down 10? Yeah, dude. Hello?
Everybody.
What was that, plus 150?
Anytime the Chiefs turn over a
$100.
plus number, you might as well just bet it.
Speaking of new rules that we'll talk about later in the NFL, there should be a new rule that teams should say if the Chiefs are up by 10 in the Super Bowl at halftime, they should still actually be down 17 because you just lose every time.
Wait, what? So they just give them 7 more?
Yeah.
To make it competitive.
We've seen
To
3
make
Super Bowls where the
it
Chiefs were down 10, and then we've seen three victories.
The Super Bowl's not competitive enough when they're down double digits.
Dude, he has a winning record when down double digits.
Yeah.
Nobody else's winning percentage is above 300. He's got a winning record when down 10 points in the NFL.
Going back to the stadium,
It's ridiculous.
Going back to the stadium real quick. Do you think there are Chiefs fans that live in Jackson County that if the team did move to Kansas that they would remove their fandom?
I think a couple people would claim they would, but they're liars.
Okay. Because that's my take.
I think they're full of it.
Why would you do that? It makes no
but they're full
sense.
of it.
I don't know. That's conversations that I've had around the water cooler with people that are like, well, if they go to Johnson County, I'm not going. And then you see Johnson County people text in, they're like, sounds perfect. Can Johnson County people vote? Bring them out on our side. You mean to tell me you would? I mean, look, I get it. We're getting into semantics, but I've had conversations with people outside of this building that are sports fans.
Yeah.
That'll be like, do you think they'll move? And I'm like, well, what if they move? They'll be like, well, I'm not a fan if they go to Kansas. I'm like, you're that butthurt if they go to Kansas?
Do you know how many fans they have in Kansas? They don't seem
Majority?
to, it just doesn't.
Your drive
half,
is
your
drive is 35 minutes instead of 15.
It's
to the
35 minutes for
stadium.
the people in OP, and they don't care. You know,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your
doesn't
drive
matter.
gets 20 minutes longer, and you're not going to be a fan.
I don't know. I think it's
It
just
doesn't
more
make
so the move.
They'd have to leave the city for me to the state. I don't know. They'd have to be the San Antonio Chiefs for me to be like, how dare you? The Kansas side, no, that's not changing.
Having been downtown,
I'd rather
too,
they be closer.
Speaking of downtown baseball, just being downtown in the Vibe, and you experienced it as well.
That's right near
when
where
you
the
and
baseball
Gold were
stadium
there.
will be.
Yeah, it's going to be. I was talking to you guys about the T-Mobile itself was great, but imagine the town just buzzing when downtown baseball is there and all the hub that'll be downtown. It'll be really exciting.
Yeah, someone says just as long as they're in the metro area.
Somebody said that was in Arizona. I bet the Chiefs spread and money line and live bet it 2 more times when they were down by 10.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
dude.
we know
That's where it works.
That's the money. It's like betting Kansas down 10 at half in Allen Fieldhouse.
Baseball's
just not a bet
also
you can lose.
baseball's also fun to live bet because I found this out in Kansas when I stole the Whit Merrifield briefcase. By the way, is that same situation? That's where the pack of toothpicks came from. You could just bet the next play. Next play is an out, hit, strikeout, whatever, and you just bet and it'd be plus everything. God, it's fun.
Yeah, I'd like to live bet in the middle of a game.
Come on, Mike.
Just
Get
make
it together.
happen. Still mad at Denny Hoskins. Yeah, that guy. Very specifically him. He's holding up things so I can't bet while I want. When we come back, a bunch of teams say they won't trade with the Chiefs. Why?
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Barbecue put Kansas City on the map, and Smokehouse Barbecue has been serving up the best barbecue in Kansas City for over 35 years. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. When my family and I want delicious baby back ribs, burnt ends, and hickory pit beans, we head to Smokehouse Barbecue. Of course, no trip to Smokehouse is complete without their Cajun chicken wings, which are the best wings on the planet. Visit them in Independence, Zona Rosa, or Gladstone, or at smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Do you want to skip your car payment this month? How about for 6 months? I'm Jeff Davis, owner of Volkswagen Lease Summit. We're offering payment relief.
Buy a new car at Volkswagen Lease Summit and get no payments for up to 6 months. That's right, no payments for up to 6 months. Or we have low leases starting at $239 a month and rates as low as 0% for 60 months.
Get payment relief today at Volkswagen Lease Summit. Visit VWLeaseSummit.com.
Financing through VCI on approved credit. Call 816-841-7383 for details.
FanDuel is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bets win. You can bet on the NBA with a wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays, player props. You can bet on MVP, Rookie of the Year, defensive players. You can bet on your NBA award. So as we head toward the playoffs, we also have the tournament coming up in college basketball, so you want to be prepared with my friends over at FanDuel. So use FanDuel, use my promo code CDOT, and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA, and also 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Erectile dysfunction affects many men in America today, but it's not just the man who's affected, it's also often their partner. But successful treatment of ED can truly bring relationships back to life. This is Jeff, the CEO of Promenic Restorative Men's Health, and that's why I'm pleased to announce the opening of our second location of Heartland Men's Health right here in Independence, Missouri. As a Promenic affiliate, Heartland Men's Health is a part of a group that has successfully treated tens of thousands of men over the last decade with treatments that are shown in medical studies to be effective in well over 90% of men. And unlike wave therapy groups or online pill sellers, we offer a variety of treatments to help you get the results you want. You could even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com.
You give your all to your team. From the time you put into watching the game to the miles you travel to make it there. So to give back to Big 12 fans, you can now save 12 cents a gallon with the Fuel Forward app from March 7th through the 17th. Because you fuel the game, but we fuel you.
Phillips 66, title sponsor of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Basketball Championships. No minimum purchase required. Can be combined with other offers.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising
a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car!
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? Well, Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 35,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares, and they may be able to help you too. If you were misled into signing a timeshare agreement that is a lifetime commitment, if you were told timeshare is a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, you need to get the facts about timeshare cancellation. For over 10 years, Wesley Financial Group has been dedicated to helping folks get out of a lifetime of debt by canceling their timeshares. So they created a timeshare exit information kit, which reveals how the timeshare industry works and what your options are for cancellation. Simply call Wesley right now and they will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. See how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Again, 800-761-0000.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Subscribe to the Character Concerns podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. KCSP Kansas City, WDAFHD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Dusty made like a face when he heard this song.
I love T-Pain. I don't know what it is.
T-Pain's another millennial artist, I think.
Yeah.
And he also
Just playing at the pool, we're all in.
His career is dead thanks to Jay-Z. Because he came out with Jay-Z, I believe, came out with a song called like Death to Auto-Tune. T-Pain also rhymed Wisconsin and Mansion. Like, let's not forget that either.
That's a great
How
moment.
good of a halftime show would T-Pain have? Oh my goodness.
Well, and there, yeah.
I mean, I'd watch it.
T-Pain there was a lot of T-Pain in my high school days.
Yes.
Like, we had a lot of that. I'm in love with a stripper. Oh. And
T-Pain, Jason Derulo.
Mm-hmm. What was a couple other ones? We had, oh gosh. I can't think of it right now. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but it was Busted. Plies was big.
Oh, yeah.
Plies was big, and I was in, like, high school to college. I had a lot of friends that were just, like, super into R&B. So, like, we always...
If you wanted a halftime show of just straight-up bangers, you could do Jason Derulo, T-Pain, and Fetty Wap, and you would be covered.
Except Fetty Wap's in prison.
Correct.
Yeah, because he was selling cocaine. Lots of it.
Not a great plan.
No.
If you've got millions of dollars, you should just invest it in
He
like
went
a
from
CD or something.
Ooh, Akon.
Not cocaine.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Akon is...
Akon's-
Him and T-Pain are... That is...
Akon.
Akon's first album that had Locked Up and, like, Pot of Gold, I probably knew almost every song on that album. That was a great album. And then they did the collaboration with Lil Wayne, I'm So Paid, and T-Pain. Or maybe not, it wasn't T-Pain, it was, Young Jeezy. That'd be another millennial rapper. Jeezy the Snowman.
Coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to talk about... Hold on, I'm going to distract us here in a second.
That's fine, don't worry.
Coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to talk about why teams are avoiding trading with the Chiefs and the 49ers. Look, this comes from a place of love. I am a middle-aged, dorky dad. How is it that I still give off less vibes of that than Alex? He posts on vacation like a guy wearing a fanny pack with his kids at Disney World.
Dude,
every photo, every post, every word has that energy, right?
Yeah.
It's not just me. And I'm saying that from a place of love. That's how I post. But also, I am that. That is me. It's a different vibe. How does he post like that?
I don't know, because I sent you guys a text. I was, like, dead-ass serious. I was like, is Gold on this vacation by himself?
Went to go see some friends.
I haven't seen any photos of anybody else. I haven't seen any videos on his IG of like him hanging out with people. All I've seen was like this weird cryptic limousine video that he posted. And then at the Grand Canyon, there's a selfie. There's another picture where he looks like I would look like if I was 8 years old with my family. And I was like, I want a solo photo for my profile pic. And then today, he just tweeted a photo of him at the Sports Circa. It's 9 o'clock in Vegas. He ain't with anybody else.
No, he's having a blast.
Good for him. Live your own life. Do you, boo. But my thing is, ain't nobody that you're friends with is that into gambling at 9 a.m. in Vegas to go to Sports Circa with you. I don't buy it. I think he's by himself. And that's fine.
I think this morning he probably is.
He eats in his car by himself. Does he not?
I have no idea.
You don't know
He
that?
does. He eats Chipotle in his car by himself sometimes.
Yeah.
Rather than go home and eat it.
And his excuse is because he has a dog.
It's a fair excuse.
I mean, just train your dog better.
Put him up for
I'm trying to back him up. Like I'm
no,
taking that side.
I love Gold, but there are fair amounts of times that I get shots when I'm not in the house.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, I had a legitimate question. Is he on vacations? Like, he reminds me, like, and there's nothing wrong with it. He goes to movies by himself.
I believe so.
Yep. Maybe he's just a solo Joe.
And that's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
The energy is not about this. It's just like someone's like, I borderline expect him to like scroll down on that selfie from the Grand Canyon, and he's just in some like white
hands to the side. And not only that, total Kansas City tourist 101 championship Chiefs hoodie.
Oh, that was the first thing that popped out to me. Of course he's wearing the hoodie.
Yeah, dude. Like and you know he's wearing some sort of Chiefs polo today. Because he ain't wearing any KU stuff. We know that got left in the briefcase.
Yeah. He was wearing that on the way out because he was in a Kansas hoodie when we were at Charlie Hustle on Monday or Tuesday. That's all. He gives off the same energy as me, and that makes no sense.
Yeah,
he's quite a bit younger than me. He's single, and yet we give off the same dad vibe energy where I'm expecting the photo when he comes back from over the weekend of him wearing a Kiss the Chef apron over a grill. Like, I mean, that's just the vibe. That's all. That's just the vibe he's given. Meanwhile, in the NFL, there's multiple reports, and this is what really, like, it's not one person saying it, but these sources keep talking about one way or the other that I'm just laughing at the way they're describing Gold now.
He has a walking stick, binoculars, sunscreen on the face.
On the nose.
Just on the nose.
Just on the nose.
And he's got an itinerary in his fanny pack. Guys, we need to hurry it up. We gotta be at the Flamingo by 3 if we want to see the show.
Good stuff.
He's 33. He's a 33-year-old and in a 55-year-old man's body with 5 kids.
Yeah, he's gonna slide into like middle-aged dad very well, smoothly. Like it's going to be an easy transition for him.
913, dad of 3 here. I'm getting so depressed hearing about Alex pissing away his single/free years. You know who's
He's
not?
in Vegas.
You know who's not? This guy. Living it up. 3-day benders, 36. How you doing? Yeah, dude.
He'll be the course at 3 o'clock.
I'll be
this
dead
afternoon.
at 60, and Alex will be married with 3 kids and a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
But you know what?
He'll have a nice
I
401.
went down guns blazing.
He once told me on this show he really likes doing his taxes, and I was just like, okay. All right. I mean, cool, I guess.
My parents don't like doing their taxes.
Alex Gold clears his throat before he has a conversation. Now, what we're going to do later.
For
No,
a
I'm just
while, he
saying
was
that's
doing
what-
that, but that was just because he was sick. We'll let Alex defend himself from all
Fair
that
enough.
stuff when he comes back. But teams won't trade with the Chiefs or the 49ers. Multiple reports are like, seriously, not just the Deontay Johnson stuff, but it seems like the general growing sentiment in the league, specifically regarding the Chiefs, is we're not going to trade with you. And what is funny about that is, do you still not have enough faith in yourself that you can take advantage of somebody else in a trade? You just think there's no way you can get the better of the Chiefs? Or are you afraid of helping them one more time? Because I got to be honest, if it's afraid of helping them one more time, because you're afraid they're going to complete the dynasty, you got to be thinking more long-term as it comes to beating the Chiefs than a single year. I think it's actually kind of it's loser behavior if your other franchises afraid to trade with the Chiefs. The Patriots never seem to care who they were trading with. The Chiefs don't seem to care who they're trading with. Hell, even look at the Ravens.
Yeah.
Ravens gave the Chiefs Orlando Brown Jr. They've been closer to winning a Super Bowl than a lot of these other teams who won't trade with the Chiefs. If the deal is good, just make it. I think going into an idea saying we won't trade with the Chiefs and we won't trade with the 49ers is why you're not winning. I just think it's why you're not winning.
So my strategy, Cody, would be like, why don't the winners trade with the winners? Why don't the Chiefs and Niners be like, hey, you want to do this again next year? We'll give you L'Jarius Sneed. You give us Deebo Samuel. Let's see what happens. And if you get there, you get there. If you don't, thanks for the trade.
Yeah. I don't care who they trade Sneed to.
I mean,
I'm not limiting. It can be in division, in conference. It could be to the Cincinnati Bengals. If the price is right, trade him to whoever.
That might be the best way to piss off the rest of the league, I guess.
Why not?
Well, for that exact same reason is, they're doing business with each other. Like if we actually got another Chiefs Niners Super Bowl, it would be the third in the last 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that matchup? I mean, that would be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah,
like, really, we're doing this again, where Chiefs fans and Niners fans would be all for it.
Yeah, these two teams trade with whoever they want. And what difference is it? They're just in the Super Bowl against each other every year, or in every AFC or NFC title game. They constantly.
And even though we gave you L'Jarius Sneed, we're going to beat you with Deebo Samuel and everybody else who we got because we have Patrick Mahomes.
Look, they didn't like Trey Lance, but they didn't care about trading him to the Cowboys, even though the Cowboys are a good team. They're not going to freak out if Eric Armstead, if Eric Armstead ends up on a contender.
Yeah.
You just let like a contender in your same conference. You just let him go. You let players go where the value is, where you get the best value. Right now, L'Jarius Sneed for the Chiefs should go to the team who offers you the best compensation. Like, look back to last year. This started last year in the draft. Brett Veach couldn't trade up high enough. Nobody would trade with him. Reports are they can't get up in the draft again. They won't trade with him because they're just constantly afraid they're going to screw themselves over.
Well, you've seen what the Bills have gotten burned with.
And what do the Chiefs do instead? They found Rashee Rice in the second round anyway.
Who they traded up to get.
Who led this team in receiving from a wide receiver perspective and help them win a Super Bowl. Like, you're going to get – it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I don't know why – if you want to trade down and they're giving you the best value, you should just take their value. Trading with the Chiefs just because you're afraid you're going to make them better is no way to live.
I think that's what makes the Chiefs such I don't even want to say a better dynasty than the Patriots, because at least, and it's different because we weren't there covering the team in any way, shape, or form like that, but it didn't seem like the Patriots were doing any trades either. They were drafting well, and even the draft was kind of hit or miss. They just fell into the lap of an easy division. And Tom Brady and the AFC wasn't as strong as it is now, where the Chiefs, even if we can't trade with anybody, it doesn't matter because we've got the best GM in the league who is going to draft the guys that we can develop, and we have the two of the best coaches in the league in Spags and Andy, along with the best quarterback. The Chiefs are set up where they don't have to feel like they need to trade up with anybody to still to lose any confidence, I guess. Like, if they don't trade up to 26 to get A.D. Mitchell and they end up with Troy Franklin, it's not the end of the world because of what they've got already on the team and who they're going to have in the next 5-10 years going forward.
Or where you make your trades is in the draft, which is where they've been more successful than anybody in the last 5 years.
Jumping ahead of the Bills and getting Trent McDuffie, jumping up to get Rashee Rice.
Jumping up to get Patrick Mahomes.
Hell, even in retrospect, the trade down on Sky Moore wasn't great if you thought you could have gotten George Pickens. And I just want to remind people, if they'd be like, what's Pickens done? Oh, just an 800-yard receiving season and a 1,000-yard receiving season.
Right.
They're like, well, but he's a problem. Not so much of a problem that when they had a choice of trading one of their two wide receivers, they kept Pickens.
Yeah.
So that one may be a miss, but for the most part, they've had a lot of success trading around in and around the draft. But teams are afraid because they're just constantly living in fear of this idea that they're going to make a mistake, that they're gonna make the Chiefs better. It's too late. They're already way better than you. They got 3 Super Bowl titles in the last 5 years.
Or I think the other thing is that the entire league knows who Brett Veach is and what he's about, and they're going, well, if Brett Veach is inquiring about certain player X, why is he inquiring about that? Maybe now all of a sudden we need to retract our decision and be like, well, Brett Veach wants them. That doesn't make sense.
Is it that scene from Moneyball when he's sitting in the room, he's like, how about this guy? And the GM's like, yeah. And he's like, looks over at this guy and he's like, nah, the guy. And he's like, who the hell are you? What job do you do here?
Jonah Hill's role? Yeah.
I think
That's
there's
exactly
legitimately
what it sounds like.
an argument for it. If other teams have that stance where they're scared to make deals, you're already in their head so badly. You are in their head so bad. They aren't even doing what's best for themselves.
They're just thinking about how to not lose to the Chiefs, which is a terrible
They're not
way to
even doing
operate.
what's best for their own organization, which I think, honestly, maybe we can look at. The Raiders are focused on that, obviously. Well, we've got the plan to beat the Chiefs. Well, it doesn't matter because you can't beat anybody else. And if you beat the Chiefs once, it doesn't matter. So you take Vegas out, the Broncos are restarting, and you could argue, brought in Russell Wilson to try to figure out how to take down the Chiefs, and the Chargers tried to do that. It's failed miserably, and they, in a partial way, have to restart. They have the quarterback, but they're in a position where they have to restart all because they're trying to do what's best to beat the Chiefs as opposed to get to the playoffs and do what's best for the organization. I mean, the Chiefs are in everybody's heads, I think, outside of maybe 3 teams in the league.
And there's 3 things that, A, they should be. B, the biggest problem is you can say you don't want to trade with the Chiefs, and the problem is that you've already lost the Chiefs because you don't have Patrick Mahomes and they do. And 3, they have the number 1 GM, number 1 quarterback, and number 1 head coach in the state of football right now, and you can't beat that no matter how you try.
Yeah.
Whether you trade or don't trade with them, you've already lost on all aspects of that because it was laughable 2 years ago when they had Howie Roseman and Brett Veach as comparable to GM, and Roseman was 1 and Veach was 2. Ha. Okay? Oh, they're in a rebuilding year. Brett Veach drops the mic on a parade and says, hey, here's the deal. Here's what a rebuilding year looks like. Then when the Chiefs were absolute terrible team and they went 11-6, oh my God, they still won the Super Bowl because they have the head coach, the quarterback, and the GM that knows what they need, when they need it, and how they need to get there to acquire that. And where Brett Veach always seems to make things work is moving up in a draft or a late season acquirement that makes them go that much over the edge to where it's like, okay. Or they just go to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and say, hey, we know we have what we need. You guys try to figure it out. And that's what happened last year. They went 1 tier down, and that 1 tier down is still 4 tiers above what everybody else has.
You can worry about beating the Chiefs when you actually get to the postseason. A lot of these teams don't even have to worry about that. Coming up in about 4 minutes, we'll get to the trash of the day. But I was thinking about the Royals a little bit, and Dusty, you and I are an optimist at heart when it comes to them. Both grew up Royals fans, still are massive Royals fans.
Die hard.
I want to exclude injury from this conversation because then we know how things can turn south if everyone's hurt. We've talked a lot about the ceiling with the Royals. What's the worst case scenario from a win perspective, from a performance perspective, if players just regress a little bit? Because I think that's what I like best about this team. I don't think that there's any way that even with regression of play, this team can be as bad as last year's. Even if Cole Reagans is a 4 earned run guy and Brady Singer doesn't get any better, and the offense still struggles because I'm not sure Garcia should be a leadoff guy, and Vinny's really good, but maybe not as good as people think he can be, and Bobby Wood Jr. kind of levels out. I still don't think they're as bad as last year's team. I think the floor for this team is 63, 64 wins, and that's if the team, if everyone performs at a not good enough level. Separating injury from that, is there a floor worse than that? I feel like they're a little too balanced to think that their floor is going to be that. Because I know what the floor for Brady Singer looks like. Yeah. I know what the floor for almost every single one of these players looks like outside of injury at this point.
I don't know what a floor looks like for Bobby Witt Jr. outside of his first 3 months in the MLB, which is unfair because he was a rookie. He was 22 years old. I don't see a whole. I mean, for them to have what does a floor look like without a major injury? I think you're right. I think anything less than 73 wins is concerning because they're over under in Vegas.
You think that's a number where you're like, oh, so 73 is what went wrong?
I do because I think this team is a 75 to 80 win team, and I think anything less than that with what they've done and who they have,
somebody regressed
and what
majorly.
they've built. And what the projections are. Again, we're going on projection what the season should be. Pasquantino is supposed to be a rising star, now healthy. Salvador Perez is a veteran who can crank it still. Bobby Witt Jr. should be a top 3 finish in the MVP. Michael Garcia is a great leadoff hitter, at least that we've seen in this sort of scenario for the Royals. Cole Reagans is your ace. Could lead the American League in strikeouts the way he's been performing in the last 9 months in baseball, right? I mean, he finished the year last year as one of the best pitchers in baseball. That's not a stretch. So I think with the moves they've made and what they've cut away, they've cut away all the fat that was on that Dayton Moore team that had,
they've cleaned house since then.
They've cut a lot of that out. They cut Hunter Dozier out. There's no more Brad Keller to worry about anymore.
Huge chunk of the rotation in the bullpen are
different, right? And you went and gotten the opposite. You've gone almost completely what your rotation was. You went and got Seth Lugo, Michael Waka. You have Brady Singer, who now you don't have really any expectation for. Brady, just be decent. Don't be an ace. Just be decent. And then you've got Cole Reagans, who what we've seen so far, again, it's way too early. We're still 2 weeks from today. of getting out there. By the way, no hot stove show tonight. K-State will tip off at 6. Their pregame will
Trying to
start
get
at
themselves
5.
in the tournament.
Yeah, their pregame starts at 5. No hot stove show tonight. Vern's still alive in Arizona, though. But I think, and maybe I can calm myself down. I think anything under 70. Because
then you're like, hey,
then it's like, what's going on?
5 games in baseball, those can go
Right.
a number of ways for a variety of reasons.
And I do believe, and I've been talking myself into that this team can play competitive ball into late August, which is my expectation.
Be within 3, 4, 5 games of the division.
Which means you should win anywhere between 70 to 80 games.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they should win the division. I'm not saying that they can win the division. I'm saying just let me get outside on August 23rd when it's 98 degrees.
Reagan's is on the bump and they need a win.
And it's a Sunday at 1:10 and they're playing Tampa. And it's Reagan's versus whoever the hell they have now.
Some other A's.
Who's going to be a trade piece in 3 years, right? And I can put that TV on the patio and be entertained and grill out. And that's the narrative of the day is that, hey, we're having guys over to watch the Royals play. It's Cole Reagan's versus Tampa. You know, they win this game. They're 2.5 out of first place in the division. That's what I want. I just don't want, oh, my gosh, when are we getting to St. Joe?
Oh, God, that's coming.
Trash of the day.
In fairness, they'd already be in St. Joe in August, but I get your point.
I know, but I'm saying
St.
like
Joe, that's the June.
I don't want the conversation to be June of like, hey, Mahomes is off his family trip. He's ready to get to St. Joe.
Yeah.
Who's at Pat Camp? Like,
I don't want that either. God, I don't want that either. Trash of the day. We head down to Australia, where a revived plan from one billionaire.
Aussie.
By the way, of course, a billionaire's name is Clive.
In Australia?
That's a billionaire's name, man. Clive Palmer.
I just feel like Australian people are the best.
That guy just sounds rich.
Clive
where he
Palmer.
is, once again, the driving force behind plans to rebuild an exact replica of the Titanic, called the Titanic 2. That was built in It would be a scale replica. He wants to do it. He said it's a lot more fun to do the Titanic than just sit at home and count my money, says Clive Palmer. I mean, he could just donate it to somebody, but whatever. He said when he first floated the dream of building the more buoyant version of the Titanic more than a decade ago, he called it too rich and too eccentric. But now headwinds and everything in this, he is back on board to try to build his Titanic project. Why? All right, you know what this is? Let's admit what building this is. It's celebrating losers. The Titanic is a loser ship. It didn't work out. It crashed. It stunk. It's a bad ship.
He's trying to be better than it.
It'd be like trying to rebuild the 2007 Jets. Nobody wants that back.
No
We're
one's
trying to
another-
rebuild the 2007 Jets. We want winners in this world. The Titanic lost this battle.
We don't want another butt fumble.
Dude, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like 100
We
years
don't need
from now.
more Rex Ryan feet photos.
Yeah, 100 years from now, someone gonna try to rebuild that submersible and go I'd like a scale submersible with a PS5 controller. I'm gonna take my sound to the depths of the ocean to remember it. It crashed.
Is James Cameron to blame for the obsession of Titanic?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. I mean, look, people were already kind of
a fair
obsessed
point.
with it. But
Why
I would
are-
say that's when it went to another.
Why
level.
are people so obsessed with the Titanic?
I don't know.
Isn't it because
Because I don't think anybody was that obsessed with it until James Cameron put Leo and Kate in the lead roles and said, you know who's going to be the bad guy? Billy Dean. I don't even know if that's his real name, but it sounds right. But I just don't get it. Those
Maybe it's just the rich people because it was the most luxurious thing on the planet.
those people went into.
there's other ships that are more luxurious now, though.
Yeah.
Oh, dude! You just go on a Carnival cruise. It's 10 times the size of
Not
the
a
old
chance.
Titanic.
I'm never going on a cruise.
He should have named it something else, like the Titanic 2. That gives.
But
off,
he wants it to be the Titanic.
It gives off a bad
He
vibe.
should have named it another shrimp on the Barbie.
It gives off a bad vibe. I would not want to go on this ship. If I was anybody, I'd be like, look, Titanic 2, look, I'm
Cody and
sure
Gold
it's
from
fine,
the
but
Titanic 2.
Sorry.
If they offered us
Count
a
me
free
out.
spot for
You're
2
not
weeks in,
I
me
would
out.
tell you no because you're going to come back. You're not going to come back. You're going to
Count me
die.
out. I'm not going.
Anything around the Titanic is not meant to be. The Lord himself has told us that anything that's involved with the Titanic is not good. Those people that went in that metal pill that went down there and it exploded, and it was so bad that one of the guy's sons was live tweeting from a Blink-182 concert.
Good day, mate. My name's Clive Palmer.
Yeah, that's good.
if this Titanic,
Hi, Kate. Won't you slide over in the door there?
if Titanic 2 suffered
terrible.
a similar fate, do you think 87 years from now people would be building the Titanic
Billy
3?
Zane. Yeah.
Like, would they be even more obsessed with the Titanic or less? Be like, we got to let this unhealthy obsession go.
Let it go.
The Titanic is cursed.
Is there anybody else who's alive who survived the Titanic?
It was 87 years ago, so I'm guessing.
Bill Paxton was in the movie, and he's not even alive.
I think we should.
It's been 84
Clive
years.
should have asked. Clive should have asked if there's any survivors. Clive should have asked. Is it all right if I,
Hi, mate. You mind if I, put a little boat together?
No,
We're rebuilding the Titanic, but we're not rebuilding Noah's Ark.
The last living person to have survived the Titanic crash died in 2009. So they couldn't have asked. Too late.
1912 is when the Titanic sunk. It is 2024, and we are still obsessed with a ship that is covered in algae and carcasses.
It didn't even make it once. It had one trip. And it had one half trip.
It's been 87 years, and I can still smell the fresh paint. We should have known then that everybody was going to be obsessed.
Someone on the text, I just said 87 years. I'm just making up a number. Someone says it was 1912, so I guess it'd be longer than that.
No, I'm just saying that's the quote in the movie.
Yeah.
That's what the lady says. That's what Rose Dawson says to Bill Paxton.
112
whatever.
Yeah, 112 years been sunk. But that movie came out in 97. Celine Dion and James Cameron are at fault as to why the Titanic is still so popular. My Heart Will Go On, banger. James Cameron, great kind of a great director. Did direct the greatest movie of all time in Terminator 2. I'll die on that hill. It's going to come.
You think that's the greatest movie of all time?
Because it's going to come to truth. Eventually, robots are going to kill us all. Have you not seen videos?
Oh, I've seen those.
It holds
those
up,
MIT
dude.
dogs.
It holds up. And by the way, who's the greatest person ever to play a cyborg? Arnold. Like, he's the perfect cyborg.
Cody, if the Super Bowl is in SoFi Stadium and you guys get to go to the game again, but you have to sit next to one of those robots that they had at a Chargers game, what would you?
I guess I sit next to it, but I'd be a little
84 years. Good God. Okay, sorry. It's been 84 years, and I can still smell the fresh paint.
Close enough.
She says 84, not 87.
I would not do it.
What?
Now there's people who are talking about conspiracy theories, that it was sunk on purpose. It did what it was supposed to do.
Well, they called it there's a quote somewhere that says the Lord himself couldn't sink this ship. You want to bring God into it? You think that guy might get pissed? Yeah, I don't know, man. Would you rather go to space or the deep sea?
Oh,
yeah, dude, I'm going to space.
Put me in a rocket.
Put me in a rocket, Daddy, before you put me in a pill and go down to the deep blue. I'd rather see an alien that somewhat looks like me than to see a damn 1,000-foot squid that could swallow my entire family in one swing.
No.
Not a chance, bro.
Yeah. It's not close.
Send me to the stars before you send me to the depths.
When we come back, the AFC, they've gotten even further away from the Chiefs.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
3, 2, 1. It's mid-March. Time to pick your bracket, stock the fridge, and get ready for the dance. The Hy-Vee Market Grill is ready too, with smoking hot deals on your barbecue favorites. It's a slam dunk when you serve pulled pork sliders 2 for $3, a full slab of St. Louis-style ribs $15, and boneless chicken wings just $8 a pound. Add Hy-Vee coleslaw and potato salad for a buzzer-beating finish. Don't miss the Hy-Vee Market Grill Smokeout Thursday through Sunday at your Kansas City area Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Kling. It's been documented. I have a severe case of spring fever right about now. Nothing goes better with a hint of warmer weather than a little barbecue. So head with me to Hy-Vee this weekend for their annual Smoke Out event. Get perfectly smoked and seasoned barbecue prepared by the Hy-Vee Market Grill. Dine in or carry out pork sliders 2 for $3. Boneless chicken wings $8 a pound, or a full slab of ribs for just $15. And don't forget to add all the sides to complete the meal. It's the Market Grill Smoke Out this Thursday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench, Saturday mornings on 610 Sports Radio at 5 a.m. and the Odyssey app. This week, Tommy answers your questions. Outdoor America. Presented by Wholesale Batteries. The right battery the first time.
Even a wager that misses can be a slam dunk with BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. Just log into your account today and receive an NBA same-game parlay insurance token. Add an NBA parlay with at least 3 legs to your bet slip and activate the token. If you lose your wager, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets, up to the maximum amount specified on your token. Don't sweat a missed shot when you wager with same-game parlay insurance. No opt-in is required. Just log into your account today and receive your NBA same-game parlay insurance token. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Another year, another Super Bowl. Did you know that the Chiefs won their Super Bowl in their first year of their partnership with Window World? And here we are, 5 years in. The Chiefs are a dynasty, and they're still going strong with Window World as the official window of the Kansas City Chiefs. Window World windows are one of 2 windows with a good housekeeping seal of approval, ranked number 1 in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. In just over 20 years of business, they have improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 54,000 customers right here in Kansas City. So be sure to call this number, 816-799-0820. Learn more about the double-strength glass that gives it strength. It's not commonly used in replacement windows. Learn more about their products that are not only durable, but offer security, beauty, and energy efficiency. Give my friends at Window World a call. That's 816-799-0820. 816-799-0820 to learn more, or also go on the website, windowworld.com.
Do you want to skip your car payment this month? How about for 6 months? I'm Jeff Davis, owner of Volkswagen Lease Summit. We're offering payment relief.
Buy a new car at Volkswagen Lease Summit and get no payments for up to 6 months. That's right, no payments for up to 6 months. Or we have low leases starting at $239 a month and rates as low as 0% for 60 months.
Get payment relief today at Volkswagen Lease Summit. Visit VWLeaseSummit.com.
Financing through VCI on approved credit. Call 816-841-7383 for details.
Hey everybody, I'm Mark Shanowski, along with one of the NBA's most popular analysts, Stacey King. We're inviting you to join us on the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast.
So join us every week here in the Hot Sauce Studios, where we'll be talking about basketball, football, MMA, entertainment, and unique viewpoints from a group of sports experts having a few brews. That's right. Listen up on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste to give your body the rest it needs to get that cold gone. Wake up refreshed, feeling relieved after enjoying the delicious flavor of NyQuil Severe Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor, use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp data bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. From PassItOn.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit GetJim.com.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Over on the text line, hey, here's an idea. Why don't we remake the Hindenburg 2? I don't think anyone's got that. Although I'm one of the few people I know. I'm the only person I know who's been on a blimp.
How was that?
I was late for this show to be on that blimp.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. It kind of felt like being on like a giant gondola. You know?
I don't know.
Like
What
a
is
ski
that?
gondola.
Oh, okay.
You know, like when you sit up,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Like an enclosed, like wire tether. You're just kind of like swaying in the wind a little bit. I told them the thing I felt the worst about, not being late for the show. I didn't feel bad about that at all. The thing I felt bad about was how excited some of the other people were. All I did was like respond to an email that said, hey, we got a subway blimp. Want to be on it? And I was like, yeah, sure. That sounds funny. That's literally what I thought. That sounds funny. That'd probably be a good bit for the show. We all go get on a blimp. And then like some lady on there was talking like, she was like, ever since I was a girl in 1942, and I thought like, this has been my dream. And I was like, okay, well, you know what?
I'd have gotten off the blimp.
That's a lot of pressure. So she's like, she came from Vermont. This other guy came from Pennsylvania. I was like, oh man, oh god, I am like taking someone's spot who wants to be on this blimp, and they let me on first, so I gotta like choose my seat first.
Nah, you're good. It's not your fault you got the email.
I got like this. I just kind of felt like a jerk.
I know this is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. This is somewhat Chiefs related. I just saw a tweet from the Kansas City Star that says Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes to open up a Kansas City steakhouse. Something special.
Wait, for real?
So with the Kansas City Star, they just tweeted that 60 minutes ago, that Kelce and Mahomes to open a Kansas City steakhouse.
Okay, time-honored tradition is an athlete in a city in which you're really popular.
You gotta have a restaurant.
Will it be more popular
than like 801?
How about than George Brett's?
Yes.
Will it have a better run than George Brett's did?
Yes.
Do you remember Brett's?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Brett's Steakhouse?
I never went, but I
went one time.
100% will be more popular. Didn't Neil Smith have a restaurant?
Yeah, he did. Multiple athletes. You remember like Pujols had one, and like if you're a major athlete in a city, it's just not all that uncommon.
What are we thinking steak costs at their place?
I was gonna say, what's the biggest steak on the menu? Do you think they have like the cowboy ribeye or like the top?
Yeah.
You think they're definitely gonna have a tomahawk ribeye for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yes.
Yes. God, that's a lock. That's an absolute lock.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about like
It'd be pricey
did it say
for
what
sure.
part of town it'll be in?
I can't read the article. I have to subscribe.
Are you blocked?
Yeah.
It's behind a paywall.
Yeah.
They should put it in Gladstone up by you, Cody.
I bet if you
don't
got
think
that,
that's where it's gonna go.
I bet if you got that opening email for, hey, would you like to join the soft opening? The menu is open for whatever you'd like.
Oh yeah.
I will start with an old fashioned.
Going to a steakhouse. How about you just? Why have you considered working there?
Oh
Dusty,
gosh.
come on! You've worked in the restaurant industry a long time. I worked in the restaurant industry. Would you consider working there? Oh, by the way, it's going to be in the Lowe's Hotel.
Okay.
Early 2025. It's called 1587 Prime.
Perfect.
I mean,
Why not?
logical. So the renderings are out there. I'm sorry that Gold's out of town for these renderings.
All of our steaks come with a side of ketchup.
All of our
No, God, no.
all of our staff get an autographed Mahomes and Kelce
Yeah.
piece of memorabilia.
You get a napkin signed by Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes.
A napkin?
Do you want to know more? He said a meat display featuring specialty cuts from their steak program will be the focal point of the restaurant,
Okay.
which will have street-level access and take up 10,000 square feet on 2 floors at Lowe's. It will boast one of the largest wine collections in the state as well.
Yes,
In addition
sir.
to a chef's kitchen, the menu will incorporate items from Noble 33 restaurants. But in terms of specific dishes, Berman said they will reveal that, quote, in the coming months. So, I mean, it's just going to be a big fancy steakhouse. Big fancy steakhouses can always do well in Kansas City, especially when they got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's name tied to it.
Yeah, I mean...
Plus, it's got one of those names where, like, Brett's Steakhouse is fine, but it doesn't sound bougie. 1587?
I mean, I don't know, dude. It's in the Lowe's Hotel. It's definitely gonna be bougie, whether it sounds that way or not.
If you were from Salt Lake City...
I once got laid in the Lowe's Hotel.
Oh, that's good.
If you're if you're from Salt Lake City and you have no idea, say you don't know, you don't care too much about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, you don't pay too much attention to the NFL because it's not there. If you were to Google steakhouses in Kansas City, 1587 just sounds like it's a good
Yeah, you wouldn't
steakhouse.
necessarily know it was tied to Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. You just see 1587, you're like, oh, numbers.
Yeah, it's like
You don't know what those mean,
801 Chop House. That's
It's
a steakhouse.
different. It sounds like it's bougie for sure.
I had Anton's before. That was good.
Anton's is great. I got to do, so the last really fancy of the like free invite, just like the blip email, was to Gordon Ramsay's steak. And they invited us out, and it was like all you could eat, all you could drink. It was nuts. They had like a seafood buffet.
How do you rank your top 3 steaks?
Like by cut?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great question. Filet, 1.
Mm-hmm.
Ribeye, 2.
Bone in or bone out?
In.
Okay.
I don't know, strip, maybe 3. I like strip. I'm not going to complain about
What about a porterhouse?
Too much steak. A lot of gristle.
Yeah.
Do you guys think you'd be able to down an 87-ounce steak?
No, I die.
If I didn't have to do any sides.
You were quick to answer that.
Oh, I can eat red meat.
If you didn't have to do any sides, you could do it.
As I've gotten older, I don't eat red meat in the winter. I know I'm weird. I'll eat a lot of red meat in the summer because I'll grill more, but in the winter, I'll just eat like salmon, chicken, and pork. And then in the summer, I'll tend to like mix in a steak or a burger every once in a while. But 87, no side, no like beverage, just maybe a water. I give a run at it.
I was going to say they could make it into like the Blazing Challenge, but that would make it go from bougie to a little bit messy, probably. Because it would be like you have people just trying to devour a steak, and it just wouldn't.
I don't think they're going to do an eating contest at the
I don't think
fancy
so
steakhouse in the Lowe's Hotel. If you missed what we were talking about, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are opening a steakhouse.
1587.
1587.
You know there's a Andy Reid burger on the menu. There's got to be.
I don't know why you wouldn't just name everything after team. You know, yeah. Like you can name something after Chris Jones 40 time for all I care.
Would you like your steak?
But you got to name it after something.
Yeah. Would you like your steak to come with some James Winchester sauce? Sounds weird, but it sounds like Worcestershire, so let's do it. Yeah.
You might as well just lean into the bit at some point.
Yeah.
They're partnering with the Noble 33 brands.
Would you
so
like to try our appetizer of some Butker Brussels? Yes.
Little news, by the way, out of the NFL. Dan Graziano reporting that the NFL is looking into potential tampering by the Eagles and the Falcons related to the free agent signings of Saquon Barkley and Kirk Cousins. If you missed the Kirk one last night, in his introductory press conference, he was talking about talking to their head athletic trainer at some point, and then the timing certainly made it seem like it wasn't during the time in which he's allowed to talk to the head athletic trainer. And the Saquon thing, it's very similar to that. So it's, I don't know. I mean, if they both get stuck with tampering, I never feel bad for any teams after the Chiefs got dinged for sending one text to Jeremy Maclin. So you tampered, you tampered. You got to wait for a certain amount of time. That's it.
You want to read the top 2 text lines of what the Chris Jones menu item would be?
So they're suggesting sausage.
Extra large sausage. Andouille.
Just like a big andouille sausage.
If it was, if we were like,
what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know.
If we were
Don't
next
trip.
to if we were like next to the ocean, you could do like the Chris Jones hammerhead shark.
Oh my Lord!
I want them to have one of those like briefcase steaks, where the guy like does the whole dance out, and it's like it's like in a gold case and stuff. We're gonna do it. Let's lean in. Maybe we can get the show funds up enough that we can.
That can be like
take
the
the
Brett
crew
Beach
out.
special or something.
There's
like
got to
that.
be a soft opening where like people of importance, and you guys are way more important than I am. You got to be able to get into that shoe in.
I mean, I'll try, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think we got to get you a job there. My new goal is to get.
I don't know, man. I don't
serve
like.
at 1587.
I don't want to do jobs where I have to know a wine menu that has like 100, and there's going to be a wine locker in there. And I'm going to get some bougie ass people that
And
I
you're
don't
gonna
want
to
to
know
deal
about
with.
like 84 Bordeaux. And
I'm going to have
stuff,
to know
and you're
the
just like,
region. The only
Yeah.
region I know is Willamette Valley. That's
Okay,
about
so you're
it.
familiar with Pinot Noir, it is.
Yes, I love
I
Pinot
had to
Noir.
do wine training with a
Yeah,
master
dude.
sommelier once.
That's
It was intense.
That's the home of Pinot Noirs, Willamette Valley.
Just wait until
Best Pinot.
Ocho Cinco's here and he leaves you a $2,000 tip or whatever. Then you might like it a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I've had athletes before leave me a 4% tip. So
Ooh, that's not great. Current athletes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanna?
No, I think he's trying to keep that close to the vest.
I was advised by the boss not to bring up the name, but I could say that there was an athlete that plays for a football team in town that, tipped me $10 on a $290 tip.
Ooh.
Oh, my gosh.
Ooh.
And I'll leave it at that.
How many people?
There were 8 children. That were like, I considered children anything under 18. They were like anywhere from the age of 16 to like 5.
Man, okay. We'll just take your guesses on the text line, 913-586-7610. All right, here, coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll talk a little bit about right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the rest of the AFC, do you agree with me that the Texans have closed the gap the most?
Yes.
Because when I look at the AFC West, I think they've only gotten further. I was trying to gauge every AFC team in a grouping. And I think that there might be 3 or 4 AFC teams who have gotten closer to the Chiefs so far in free agency because they've done, not that much. And the AFC West, not a single team in the AFC West is one of them. How do you let the rest of the AFC close the gap when you're the teams who have to at least get past the division before you can be relevant? Those teams should be just focused on competing in their division, and they're getting closer to the Chiefs than you are. The Texans, I thought the Steelers had done a better job. The Ravens have made some nice signings.
Yeah.
These are all teams that have closed the gap better than the AFC West.
Yeah, I mean, the AFC West is poverty-stricken around the Chiefs. And the Chargers have the biggest mess up because they didn't win when they should have with the young quarterback. It just, unfortunately for them, there was the modern-day GOAT in their same division who's just better than everybody. The Texans are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Their quarterback is still on a rookie deal. Their offense is fairly young, so there's no money there.
Yeah. So they're spending it everywhere else.
Right. And then on top of that, you look at how close they got in year one. And the Chiefs, Chiefs in their first year with Patrick Mahomes, their quarterback, were a D Ford's foot away from being in the Super Bowl. And they knew at that point, we can win and we can win now. The Houston Texans, they were in a game against the Baltimore Ravens where it was tied at halftime in the divisional game. Winner goes to the AFC Championship game and plays the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And in the second half, they got completely blanked. Like, just got shut out. Baltimore was a better team. And they were like, okay, we know we can get there. Here's where we need to go. Here's what we need to do. They added depth to their defense. They've added depth to their offensive side of the roster. They've re-signed some guys that are potential, good side guys for their roster in Dalton Schultz. And that's why they're doing it. Baltimore spent the most money last year and got to the AFC Championship game.
So their price paid off in a way.
They did exactly what they were supposed to do. And they're essentially a fumble or an allowing of an MVS catch away from going to the Super Bowl as well. It is what it is. And what they did and what they didn't do is the Houston Texans didn't have to play the Chiefs, but they would have if they would have beaten Baltimore, and I would almost guarantee the Chiefs would win that game.
Yeah.
So they know they have what it takes to get to the promised land. They can go outside of their division. Whereas the teams that you mentioned in the Chiefs division, the AFC West, they don't know where the hell they're going. Their quarterback on 2 teams is who knows who's going to take the charge. The Chargers are so against the cap that they've just released their number 2 wide receiver who they just paid 2 years ago. They let go of their wide receiver 1. They've hired a new coach. They've hired a new offensive coordinator. This will be the 3rd head coach and 3rd offensive coordinator for Justin Herbert in his 5th year, right? And they've accomplished nothing. Houston and Baltimore and Indianapolis are all on the verge of accomplishing something much more than just division wins. And Baltimore doesn't necessarily have to win their division to get into the playoffs. Houston and Indianapolis kind of have to win their division to probably get into the playoffs because the AFC North is so stacked.
What's interesting is none of the Bills, Bengals, Chargers, Broncos, or Raiders have gotten closer to the Chiefs. That's been the regular competition.
And the problem is that their big Super Bowl is that they beat the Chiefs once. You can beat the Chiefs once, but you need to beat the Chiefs and the records total when the season is over. And you're not going to do that with Gardner Minshew. You're not going to do that with, Zach Wilson And Sean Payton, who thinks he's, the smartest guy in the room and can figure things out, clearly couldn't do it with Russell Wilson. I think Sean Payton's out as Denver's head coach in the next year and a half. I think he obviously goes this whole year unless it goes way south. And then if it's not a good year this year and next year goes even, the same keel, he's gone. And they're back in the same rotation. It also goes to show you how much is something worth. Denver gave all their money and all their resources to Peyton Manning. They went to 2 Super Bowls. They won 1. They won the division for 5 years. They lived in a happy place for a good amount of time. The Kansas City Chiefs have now lapped that. They've done it for 8 consecutive titles in the AFC West. They've been to 6 Super Bowls. They've won 3 with this regime that they have. Los Angeles has always been the Chargers, and the Raiders have always been the Raiders. And the Raiders are doing nothing to give you any sort of, positivity towards, the Raiders might be a threat. At least when the Broncos went and got Russell Wilson, there was conversation that it's like, okay, Russell Wilson makes the Broncos better by how much? There's none of that conversation going on this year, except for how does Jim Harbaugh turn things around in Los Angeles? I don't know. He's going against the cap. He's losing his wide receiver and another running back. We'll see if it works out. But the other teams, like you mentioned, Houston, who the Chiefs are probably going to play in week 1 of the NFL season next year at home, revealing a banner. Your biggest threats right now in the AFC are Houston. Cincinnati still is there for me. And Buffalo, we'll see. They just unloaded everybody, right?
They feel like they're going to take another half step back, and they took a half step back last year.
And they had to fight from 6 feet under just to get into the playoffs and have Miami completely falter to get to where they were at. And still lost a playoff home game in back-to-back years to the Kansas City Chiefs in the year before they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, they're stuck. Like, some of these teams are stuck in no man's land. Some of them sold, right. The Bills, specifically, Miami, those 2 teams that have gotten further away from the Chiefs, just like the division. Well, they sold out to try to get closer to the Chiefs. They got closer to the Chiefs, but it was Icarus, right? They flew too close to the sun, and they couldn't come out of this and actually take down the champs. The real question is it going to get the next couple of rounds of it? Baltimore is next on the docket. They'll probably put all of their eggs back into the basket and see if they can take another crack at it. The Texans have 3 free years.
Right.
They can go all in for the next 3 years until C.J. Stroud's cap hit actually hits.
Well, the Chiefs thought
something.
that. The Chiefs thought that, and then after 2 years, they gave Patrick Mahomes the contract.
Yeah, but
he
they
had
never
won a
did kick in for a couple more,
Right.
and he had kept winning Super Bowls.
And he won a Super Bowl in his second year as a starter. So
makes you feel at least a little bit better.
But how much do you honestly fear? How much do you honestly fear the Houston Texans? Like a level of 1 to 10? About a 5?
I need to see Stroud one more year before. Yeah, 5.
About a 5?
If Stroud comes
Baltimore's still your biggest threat?
As of right now, yeah.
And then still Cincinnati?
Yep.
That's
Look,
what
I was already pre-predicting.
But it's crazy that we're Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston.
Maybe, because I was already pre-predicting the decline of, not the decline, but last year we did our division picks.
Yep.
And at the time, I had picked Buffalo to win the division.
Good.
And they're like, but everyone was like, well, but I thought you said that they're on the decline. I'm like, no, they're on the decline. They can still win the division and be on the decline. But by this time next year, I probably won't be picking them to win the division. And that's kind of exactly how I feel, except the biggest problem, which is Miami is also in cap hell and having to let go of talent. And I sure as hell don't trust the Jets. They're just going to have every distraction in the world. We joked about VP runnings for Rodgers. Now he's having to send out tweets saying that he didn't believe in dangerous conspiracy theories. So they're a mess. So, it is kind of hard to not just pick the Bills to win the division again. And if they win the division, then they're kind of a threat to the Chiefs, you know?
They are, but...
Because Josh Allen plays better than anybody against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. He's almost gotten them a couple of times, you know?
I think almost. As long as they... I wouldn't say as long as they have Josh Allen, they have a chance. But theoretically speaking, you could say as long as they have Josh Allen and a healthier defense, then there's a shot.
Yeah, but I don't let go of a lot of that defense.
I don't know if they're above Houston even. I think they're...
No, but they're one good draft. I would say, Houston can pay to fix some of their problems. If the Bills just 2 years, just nail one draft, they're right back near the top of the list. Right now, I would still put the Bills above Houston because C.J. Stroud will have to prove it a second time. He'll have to prove that wasn't just 1 year. Then he's got multiple years in him.
North Carolina up 19, by the way.
Oh, they did.
What's your bet on them?
-10.
Wait, what happened? Weren't they tied earlier?
I don't know. They just got 8 consecutive rebounds on the offensive side. It was kind of hilarious to watch while we were all ranting. They just literally kept putting up shots, kept
That's
getting
2
rebounds. Yeah. Goes back for the
Bad shot. Let's see it.
Misses. Rebound. Throws it out. Gets the bucket. Yeah.
3 rebounds and a bucket.
And UConn's up 1. They got to win by 15 at half. Here we go.
You got a first half line or a game line?
No, the first half line was -9 UConn. I did not bet that.
Okay.
But I have total game line -15.
It's one of those Dan Hurley's in the locker room fuming mad, and they just wake up in the second half.
Or they just like played coy in the first half, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, let's turn it
To your guys' point, I think Houston's done the most. Baltimore's done some, but I don't know how much the Derrick Henry thing actually moves the needle in terms of them being able to beat the Chiefs. Like Derrick Henry's fine, but in terms of them putting them over the hump, I don't know. I mean, they lost Geno Stone. They lost Patrick Queen. I just don't.
Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins.
I don't think those really matter, but
they basically replaced those two with Derrick. But you know what I'm saying? Like they don't have Odell. Like I don't know what they didn't get worse necessarily, but getting Derrick Henry isn't the thing because everybody's like, oh, that offense is so scary. Not really. Like it is, but.
It isn't. Just depends.
Lamar Jackson is what makes the thing tick still. It's the exact same as it was, I think, before. The Bengals have done things to keep them in the same spot, I think. If they do bring back DJ Reader, though, they'll have Sheldon Rankins and DJ Reader. But
they haven't addressed their offensive line.
Well,
do they have plans to fix the weakest part of their roster?
The biggest plan is the draft. Like, they're going to draft a tackle at 18. Like, that, I think, is the number one solution. They're also having Mekhi Becton in, I think, tomorrow, or today, actually,
That guy couldn't stay healthy. When we come back, I'll get you some update on some of the Big 12 scores as they're in action as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about what happened in the wide receiver market yesterday.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100% feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Rev up the fun with the Honda Civic and HR-V. These vehicles redefine the game when it comes to performance and style. With sporty designs matched by powerful performance, the Civic and HR-V deliver a driving experience like no other. But what really sets these cars apart from the crowd is the spirit of determination that inspires everything we do. That's why we're KBB.com's best value brand of 2023.
Based on 2023 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
So I'm about to head out of town again, and anytime I'm getting ready to pack, I remind myself what I don't have to pack anymore, which is nice, not to think about contact lenses, contact solution, my glasses, all of that. Something I used to have to deal with when I was traveling, which was kind of a pain in the butt. Not anymore, thanks to DuraVision, thanks to SBK Advanced LASIK, a procedure I went in for just 2 days after my free consultation, where they put together a specific plan that fits my vision goals going forward. And now I just wake up. I don't need glasses. I don't need contacts. And I don't need to deal with that packing when I'm forgetting contact solution, because that's something I used to do. I used to forget the contact solution. I'd have to run to the store while you're on vacation. You don't want to waste your time dealing with that. And you don't have to live that way anymore if you go in for that free consultation. 913-491-3330. That's the phone number to call up DuraVision, 913-491-3330, or go online to DuraVision.com and make your life easier and perhaps get rid of those contacts and glasses as well.
FanDuel's putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bet wins. You can bet on the NBA with a wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays, player props, in-game betting, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/610Bob. That's FanDuel.com/610Bob and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA and of 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
It is caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! Kansas City! And the Chiefs have won!
Mitch Oltis here. There's nothing like a game at Arrowhead. For over 50 years, we've shared incredible moments and created unforgettable memories there. Now we've got to keep it going. On April 2nd, vote yes on question 1 to keep the Chiefs here in Jackson County, with real benefits for every community. New renovations at Arrowhead, and you don't pay any additional taxes. Chiefs Kingdom, this is a golden era of sports, and together we have built a major league city. There's no place like Arrowhead. Let's keep it going.
Intercepted! It's intercepted! Kansas City, you've got a champion!
On April 2nd, vote yes on question 1 so we can keep the Chiefs in Jackson County.
Paid for by the committee to keep the Chiefs and Royals in Jackson County. Whitney Beaver, Treasurer.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
At LL Floyd, we've been a trusted partner to pros for over 30 years. With over 400 nationwide warehouses full of in-stock, job-ready inventory, you'll get what you need. And our exclusive pro pricing means that pros never pay retail. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. So we're gonna do it right. Sign up for a free pro account today to start getting pro benefits. LL Flooring, every step covered.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, this is Trent McDuffie, and you're listening to the official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on what's trending, Big 12 basketball. Obviously, college basketball happening literally everywhere. I can't give you every single score, so let's stick to the local end of things. Last night, Missouri fell to Georgia 0-19 in SEC play.
Not good.
It's pretty bad. First time since, I think, before the Titanic, maybe. You'll give us some numbers on that a little bit later on, Dusty, so we can get back to that. Kansas lost by 20 to Cincinnati. They got that deficit down to 2 or 3 there in the second half when they made a little bit of a run. KJ Adams went up against the stanchion, and then that was all she wrote for Kansas. The only team of the locals to win last night, K-State, getting past Texas after trailing by 10 at halftime. Went on an absolute run against Texas. They desperately, in my opinion, need this win against Iowa State tonight. in order to get into the Big 12 tournament. Right now, Texas Tech is up 27-14 against BYU. Houston and TCU is the 2 o'clock game. Then you'll get Kansas State and Iowa State tonight at 6, and then Cincinnati Baylor tonight at 8:30.
And for your top 25 teams that are in action, North Carolina's up 46-30 at half on Florida State. UConn's up 34-33 on Xavier at half, and then you gave the BYU Texas Tech. That's a 20-25 matchup right there.
Yeah.
That's a good little, 8-9 game?
That's every day in the Big 12, my guy.
That's like a
top 25 matchup is every day in the Big 12.
That's like an 8-9 game in the tournament, I think. Or maybe like a 7-10 game. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Royals announced 2 more Hall of Famers, former GMs Cedric Tallis and John Sherholtz going into the Hall of Fame with one Vincent Bo Jackson this year for the Kansas City Royals. So some more honorees that will go into that nice little Hall of Fame
Okay,
area.
so we know Dayton Moore will be a Royals Hall of Famer. You think J.J. Piccolo ever gets in? What's it take? He's got to win a World Series?
Mm-hmm. Bobby Witt's already in.
All those guys didn't win well, I don't know about Cedric. I mean, Sherholtz was like the guy who pioneered the 70s Royals.
How many years has Gordon been retired? This will be his 3rd?
Yeah.
So he's got 2 more years till he's in.
Yeah, he'll be in.
Ned's in.
A lot of that 2015 squad's going to...
Is Moose in?
A lot of that 2015. I mean, I honestly, because I think it's just a fan award, I put in the 5 or 6 players you remember from that era.
So,
I put in Moose and Esky and me.
Kane, Hosmer,
Kane,
Sal, Davis, Holland.
The problem with Davis and Holland is, can I put in HDH as a group? You guys are just HDH.
Just a 3-headed portrait?
Yeah. 3-headed portrait. We make you I like that.
Is Beltran
idea.
in yet?
I don't think so. A little more controversy for old Beltran here lately. So Zach Greinke will be in at some point.
Yes.
They're going to add some names to it. The
Zach
2015
Greinke's going to be in
squad.
Cooperstown. So, Zach Greinke's going to be in Kaufman.
Most
for
likely.
sure.
Next up on What's Trending, a report over The Athletic says the Steelers are interested in signing Tyler Boyd. The reason why it's important here, he says one hang-up and what could get that deal done is the Chiefs' continued interest in Tyler Boyd as well.
Right.
Mentions other team, the Jets, as a potential dark horse. Tyler Boyd is a fit. I like it. Nothing wrong with it. 600. He had a down year
Drew
last year with
hates
a little
it.
under 700 yards. Drew only hates it because he likes Tyler Boyd.
Drew also
and
likes
he doesn't
water
want them to
steaks.
make the Chiefs better.
Yeah. He likes water steaks and Dan Flashes.
Dan Flashes.
Yeah.
Do you think he's seen that show?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope.
So
There's your
That's
answer.
to know. Dan Flashes would be enough to give it
You
away.
shut the hell up, dog! Shut up, dog! I think you should leave. That's the name of the show. That's a scene. Sorry. Can you come over to my table and tell the person not to eat all the nachos with all the meat on them?
Tyler Boyd is a legend, man. I don't want to see him, and I don't want to see
Makes
him.
it even sweeter if he comes to Kansas
He
City.
can go to the Jets at this point. I don't want him on either Pittsburgh or Kansas City.
Speaking of what's trending, PGA Championship, the Players Championship is currently going on right now. TPC Sawgrass. We do already have an ace on 17, Ryan Fox. But your leader, Cody, you like this. Rory McIlroy is
money on him to win.
He is -8 today.
There we go.
He is through 16, or he's putting on 16 right now. I'm sorry. 15. My eyes are terrible. Maybe I need the Dury Vision read. Rory McIlroy -8. Xander Schauffele at -7. Jason Day -5. And a slew of other guys -5. Some guys haven't even teed off yet, as there's still some time to be played, or they are still waiting. Big names that haven't are just starting. Adam Scheffler's in there, or Scotty Scheffler's in there, all those other guys as well. But Rory McIlroy, the anti-hero of Swing 2, Full Swing 2, is at the top. I just thought you wanted to root for him, and then you slowly start to see, why am I rooting for this guy?
I also don't understand why the entire commission of the league treated him so poorly. They're tight. They're boys. And he made him be the bad guy for all the years against Liv, only to make him, stuck out there in sacrificial lamb. Next up on What's Trending, the Lions have announced extensions for both their GM Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell ahead of the NFL draft, which will take place in Detroit here in just a few weeks. That's logical. Look, the Lions were irrelevant for an incredible period of time.
Yeah.
They are a relevant franchise now.
Yeah.
Made a great trade for Goff at the time. Yes, it worked out for the Rams because they got Stafford and they got the title, but they weren't getting there with that.
No.
They're bringing Goff. They've made him successful. They eventually will still have to find the long-term answer, probably.
Yeah, he's their Alex Smith.
But they're doing well. That's a franchise that's heading in a good direction.
They're doing the exact same thing the Chiefs did, except they were irrelevant longer than the Chiefs were. But You go in there and get a guy that can stabilize your franchise, get a head coach that can really like spread his foundation and make you believe it, and then you get talent around him. Dude, the talent around Jared Goff is disgusting. Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Gibbs. Their offense is young and set.
Yeah.
They just got to figure it out on defense.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's he's open to get a contract now, not this year or
I hope they give the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs more because I'm just like, I'm tired of I hate the running back stuff where you're like, I know the other guy's better. Why don't you just play him more? I always go back. It's like the Thomas Jones, Jamal Charles. Like, we all see it. Why the hell is that guy running the ball more? Give me the other.
I think
guy.
the frustrating thing with Jamal Charles and Thomas Jones was fantasy owners. Like people that had Jamal Charles would be like, great. He was like the Julio Jones for running backs. He'd have like 15 carries for 160 yards and 0 touchdowns, and Thomas Jones would have like 4 carries for 18 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're like, why does he get all of Jamal's touchdowns?
As a David Montgomery fantasy owner, I loved it.
Yeah,
I'm sure you did.
My wallet also. The Lions, I won so much money betting the Lions this year.
Did you bet them week 1?
To win, I didn't. I was doing player prop stuff. I did Laporta. I made a killing on Laporta. Gibbs,
we got
and
Drew a
Montgomery,
free jersey on a
St.
first
Brown.
touchdown.
We did, yeah. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, tutty.
Yeah,
Laporta
split a couple $100. That was a good day. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget our Big 12 tournament coverage on 610 Sports Radio is brought to you by Twin Peaks, Eats, Drinks, Scenic Views. And we'll be out at no other pub tomorrow. So if you guys want to see the show 10 to 2, we'll be out there. Pretty good chance there, Dusty. I'm going to be sticking there after for a drink or two. Just gonna toss that out there.
I'm sure I could.
It's a Friday, and Club 610 is normally at 1 o'clock on a Friday. I'll already be at a bar, so I don't know that's gonna stop that tradition.
Can we take the sign?
I took it to Vegas.
Why not?
I'm gonna plug it in.
Do we take the cameras?
I'm gonna try. So
Okay.
for those who like to watch the video stream on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, I'm going to bring the cameras down to No Other Pub, and my fingers crossed that they will work the way that I would like them to.
I still can't get over the Odell Beckham Jr. quote.
The fact that that's the thing
I'm
about wide
sorry, this
receiver.
just came up on my timeline. I just
Yeah.
saw it again. I'm just like, even Fesco tweets, "Is this sarcasm?" I'm like, I don't know what's going on, man. It seems like an oxymoron.
It seems like I kind of assume this is coming from like
an agent,
the sports pickle, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Onion's version of a joke account, not a serious.
Well, what is at Mail Online? That's where it's coming from.
That's a real site, man.
Okay.
They break
Yeah,
clean
dude.
stuff. It's a real site.
For those wondering, the
It's a
quote
real
says, Odell wants a huge contract that has a ton of money behind it and years attached to it because it's likely his last contract. And then the line above it says, star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. would like to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are two things that do not exist.
Those are oxymorons by their
That's
nature.
what I say. Yeah, so like,
those are you were describing opposites.
yes, that
Not
doesn't
the same,
happen.
Not combinations. You were describing opposites.
You go to a barbecue restaurant and you're like, do you have any tacos on the menu? We don't. Like, no. Sorry, I want tacos. Let's go to, Freddy's.
You know what ruined his idea of his value is the Ravens so overpaid him last year.
Would they give him $18 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
He probably thinks he can still get it, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
He played with the MVP.
He probably thinks he can. He thinks he can still get that money. Do you know that they're going to be paying him for the next 4 seasons?
Sucks to suck.
Like Odell Beckham Jr., they just did dummy years. They've got this year, he's an $11 million dead cap against him. Next year, he's an $8 million dead cap against him. And then I think they technically have to give him some scraps in some of the, like the Bobby Bonilla deal.
Oh, God.
Where they're going to, continue to just here's a little bit of money slowly over time. They ruined it by giving him the amount of money they gave him. They gave him $16 million in cash for that 1 year. And if he wants anywhere close to that number, I wouldn't even come close. What's the most you would give Odell Beckham Jr. in money and years? Years, is it 1 or is it 2?
I'd give him a 1-year deal for $3.5 million. That's as far as I'd go. And it'd be 1.5 guaranteed, and the rest would be heavily incentives. It'd be, did you have X amount of catches? Did you play X amount of games? How many yards did you have? And then you could stack it high in the playoff. Be like, hey, here's where you get your incentives. All you got to do is just ride the high of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and you'll be just fine.
I think I would sign him one for 3.5, potentially to become 5. The 3.5 is if he plays every game.
Yeah.
The 5 or the 2.5 is guaranteed. 3.5 is if you play every game. 5 is if you make a certain amount of catches. So it could be up to 5.
Not only that, but Odell Beckham Jr. is low-key dating Kim Kardashian.
And also, Kim Kardashian and Taylor Swift don't like each other.
Is that a fact? I thought they were.
It a thing like a couple of years ago?
That's still a thing. They don't like each other. We don't need to bring that kind of
thing,
energy to town.
Do they not like?
We back Taylor Swift.
Do
We're
they not like?
Swifties.
Do they not like each other because she dated Kanye?
I might have something.
Or was married to Kanye?
I think it
I
has.
No, I think the Kardashians have just talked a lot of trash about Taylor Swift. The Kardashians as a group have talked a lot of trash.
Did Kim get her
Swift.
fame because she did the makeup stuff, or the show, or the Ray J video?
The Ray J video and
That
the
opened the door
show.
to the other stuff. But the makeup brand is
There was a lot of openings in that video.
I think too. This is the thing though. Taylor Swift has got enough on her side because she's friends with Beyonce. Beyonce's got the Beehive. Sorry, Swifties in the Beehive against whatever Kim Kardashian has.
Yeah.
You're getting overwhelmed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them in suites like next to each other though? Like
no.
Here's
I
Taylor
couldn't imagine
Swift.
Taylor Swift being in a Chiefs
Here's
game.
Taylor Swift, Jason Kelsey, and Ice Spice, and there's Kim Kardashian and the Jenners.
What percentage?
Everyone's just coming to KC, man. It's the new LA. Just every single person coming to KC.
What percentage? And maybe this is too much. What percentage do you give that Travis and Taylor are still together by week 1 next year?
100%. They're getting married.
I agree. 100%.
I give it like a 60% chance they're engaged in the next 12 months. I think this thing's got juice.
Okay.
Juice. Well, look, in fairness, she was with someone for like 4 years before this and they didn't get married. So I'm probably giving myself a little too high on the 60% marriage thing, but I think they're together by the start of football season.
I don't know. I think you might have something because they, athletes, pop star, they might move a little bit faster, especially. I didn't follow the Taylor Swift relationship stuff, but I don't know if it's progressed as well as it seems. Her and Travis have progressed.
This is the most openly happy she has ever been in a relationship. The rest are behind closed doors. You know that's no way to live, Dusty.
I feel like that matters.
If you don't want to introduce us to your girlfriend, how happy are you really? If this is all going to be a big cloak and dagger secret, can you really be yourself? They're at clubs together. They're going to concerts together. It's way different.
She was introduced to Mama Kelsey in week 2.
Someone says Kim Kardashian recorded Taylor Swift on a phone call without her knowing. That's part of where that's gross.
That's cringy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're definitely out of the honeymoon phase.
This is the whole problem with the wide receiver thing. Is really Odell Beckham in this drama like the 5 best receivers available?
No, he just hangs on to his name.
Yeah, that's all it is.
He hangs on to his one catch, really, is what he hangs on to.
I'm not even kidding. Like, if you gave me all the available free agent wide receivers based on what their dollar amount is likely to be, Odell might be 10th or 15th on my list.
I'd rather have
based on the dollar amounts they are currently asking for.
I'd rather have the Shaheed kid out of New Orleans than I'd rather have Odell Beckham Jr. And that kid's got some talent, and he's still a free agent that no one talks about.
I'd be fine with him. I'd be better with Curtis Samuel. I'd be better with Tyler Boyd. Like, I can go through some names.
Josh Reynolds.
I'd be happier with Josh Reynolds. I
Tyler
understand
Boyd.
Odell Beckham's peak is better than some of these other guys we're talking about. We're not talking about peak. He's going to be a 32-year-old wide receiver at 550 yards last year.
Here's the money question. Would you rather bring MVS back or sign Odell Beckham Jr. to a 1-year deal?
MVS.
That was quick.
What's the price difference?
Not a difference. They're the same contract.
One for 5. I'm bringing
MVS or Odell Beckham
I'm bringing
Jr.?
MVS back.
I think I have to take Odell.
I beat the text line because I knew that was coming.
I think I would take Odell in only that scenario.
Look at you traveling back in time. Just killing your take right there.
But that's just better than MVS. I said I'd take 10 wide receivers.
MVS
There's 10
over-
wide receivers I'd take above MVS.
Give me MVS over Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell hasn't had one big catch in a big game in his life.
He had a pretty big one in the Super Bowl for a touchdown.
I will say
They won that
it was a pretty big touchdown.
I mean, I would say it was a lot, but I mean, no, there's that one.
MVS has bigger. MVS is the reason why the Chiefs have one of them, you could argue, because of what he did in the AFC Championship game. Like him getting Odell hasn't been he might have been that in the Super Bowl against the Bengals because he was on fire until he tore his ACL.
This is the problem with the wide receiver market. Like between
I'm
this and
taking
Tyler
MVS.
Boyd, like let's realistically look at it. Didn't Calvin Ridley hurt all of this? Calvin Ridley might have opened up one door for the Chiefs, which is he might have made wide receivers so expensive that one of these teams that has to pay, let's just say Justin Jefferson. Like, if you got to pay Justin Jefferson, imagine what you have to pay him now. Whatever the number you thought you might be able to shave $1 million or $2 million off, Calvin Ridley ruins that possibility. And I still think there's one big wide receiver trade coming. Deontay Johnson was a pretty big one, but I still think there's another big one coming. Every single year in the NFL, they keep coming this way. Maybe you can re-enter the market that way because based on production, Hollywood Brown or Tyler Boyd are probably the two best receivers available.
Yeah.
And as you'd asked me earlier, Hollywood Brown, I'm only interested in if the price is right. Injury history, the 1,000-yard season seemingly out of there. I mean, it's just, I get less and less interested in this wide receiver market by the day. And I'm just like, I just want Curtis Samuel so I can just get some 700-yard wide receiver in this building and then not worry about it.
I keep asking you percentages of how you feel. What is the percentage you think Kirk Cousins is serious about winning in football? Diana Rossini just drops a tweet. The Vikings made Kirk Cousins an offer for more than 1 year that included guaranteed money in year 2. Sources tell Alec Lewis, former friend alert, and her. Ultimately, the Falcons' offer exceeded how far Minnesota was willing to go. The team is now focused on maximizing a flexible future. They gave him guaranteed money in year 1 and 2, gave him 1 more year longer in Minnesota for security, and he went to Atlanta for more money.
He has one playoff win, man. He's going to make $400 million.
You can argue
biggest businessman of all time in the NFL.
You can argue though that Atlanta's the better situation. I understand Atlanta's the better situation, and you get more money.
Yeah,
easier division. The team I think is better. Like Atlanta's defense was actually very good last year. They just didn't have a quarterback, so you add him in there. They get Mooney in there. The defense is still good. You draft another guy. You have a defensive-minded head coach anyway, so the defense is going to be great. Of course, it depends on the UFC, but Kirk, in my mind, he makes them contenders in the NFC behind the Niners, Eagles, and Lions. I mean, they're right there. I think they're right there in the discussion because of what they already have in bringing in. Kirk's good enough. It's just that Minnesota, when's the last time that they had a great defense? I think having what Atlanta has helps Kirk more than what Minnesota had.
Yeah. Plus, he needs that extra money to buy the number 8. This is what Kirk Cousins had to say about buying Kyle Pitt's number.
And Atlanta's defense isn't that bad. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I said, I'll write a check, whatever, foundation. I'm not going to let you just give me the number. I want to make it worth your while. Make a donation, whatever it needs to be. And he said, I just want, targets every game. He said, he was joking. He kind of winked. So I joked with him. I said, good answer. Good answer.
He was not kidding.
By the way, I do not think Kyle Pitts was joking. Do you think he was kidding about those targets?
No. Absolutely not.
He absolutely wants them.
Speaking of the Falcons, it looks like Desmond Ridder is going to get traded to the Cardinals.
For Rondale Moore.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Rondale Moore's going to the Cardinals in exchange for Desmond Ridder.
That's a good trade for the Falcons.
Doesn't Rondale Moore go back home? Wasn't he already in Atlanta or in Arizona? I thought he was there already.
No.
And then he went to Atlanta and he's going back? Or am I thinking of a different one?
You're saying Desmond Ridder is going from Atlanta to Arizona for Rondale Moore, who's going to...
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm confused.
Rondale was drafted by the Cardinals, I think. Somebody on the text line said the Bengals are in on Debo? I don't see that.
Debo, every year Debo gets threatened to get traded.
Well, he's changing his number to 1.
Look, the Bengals can trade T. Higgins for Debo Samuel, and you can swap picks.
Okay, I was about to say, we don't have to go back down this road. When a couple days ago, Drew seemed pretty convinced that he could just get T. Higgins for Justin Jefferson straight up.
Okay. Drew.
I was kidding.
Okay.
It didn't sound like he was kidding at the time, but that's fine.
That's because it was an off-air.
Yeah, it was off. It was off air.
It was off air.
We took it on air eventually.
Oh, it was off the record?
Well, I don't know if it was off the record. It just was off air.
Well, it became on the record because we talked about it the next day.
Yeah. It immediately became a topic of conversation on this show, as you can imagine. If you could trade L'Jarius Sneed for a wide receiver straight up, would you rather do that or get a draft pick and draft one? Second round pick, or you get a 600-yard, 650-yard wide receiver in a trade?
It has to be draft.
Draft.
Okay. I feel the same way.
Potential.
I was asking because Rondale Moore is a 500-yard or 400-yard. He's probably a 400-yard wide receiver.
Okay,
they just traded Desmond Ridder for him. Could you get an 800-yard receiver from somebody for L'Jarius straight up?
Say the Bengals were like, sure, we'll do it. Are you doing that, or are you doing the pick still?
I would still for Higgins.
Yes,
for T, I would do it. I was thinking like a guy slightly below that caliber.
Sure.
For T, I would do it.
Barbershops. Please tell Drew to stop. After the Odell Beckham hasn't had the one big catch in the Super Bowl comment. Barber's on you, man. He'll get you. He's a little viper. Would you rather have McCole Hardman and Watson or Odell Beckham Jr.?
Odell Beckham Jr. That's where I
McCole
draw the line.
Hardman.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's where I draw the line.
I'm just checking.
Everyone has a line somewhere, Dusty.
McCole Hardman, MVS, or Odell Beckham Jr.?
McCole and MVS.
Okay.
For the same price? Probably McCole and MVS.
So McCole was the selling point then.
I mean, it's just enough. I get 2 receivers instead of 1.
He's the shuttle in the corn dog play.
He's just not worth, like, the problem with Odell is, like, these conversations are creating a neutral price point. And that's just objectively not true. He said he wants a giant bag of cash for multiple years and to be in Kansas City. And those two things do not compute. That's the thing. That his current belief of I'd like one more payday before it's over don't line up with what he's talking about.
I want to know if Barber's taking MVS over Odell then.
I don't know.
I'm sure he'll respond here shortly.
He'll let us know. When we come back, the NFL is exploring some rules, including the possibility of changing the 4th down rules. Is it a good idea for the Chiefs? We'll do that next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Okay, I know everyone was like me yesterday, in which all of our houses were hit with hail. That thing came through the city, which means you're like, all right, what do I need to do? Call the insurance company, figure it out. No, call a roofing company you can trust to make sure that the damage you got is worthy of that kind of claim. And you want one that's been in the Kansas City area for 33 years. Go to centuryroofingkc.com to take a look at their service plan for you to see how they can work with those companies to make sure that you're covered. Don't just let some roofing company show up at your door and try to convince you of something you don't need or to convince you to use them rather than getting a trustworthy, reliable inspection from, again, a company that's been in Kansas City for 33 years. I saw some of those videos of softball-size hail on the western side of town. We had good-size hail in our area in the Northland. I know this got so much of this. So, again, go to centuryroofingkc.com so you can get a Kansas City company with a warranty that will stand behind and honor for a long time. They're currently offering free impact-resistant upgrades on all roof replacement jobs in case that's what you might need as well. And that way you can feel like you're being taken care of. They've done over 30,000 roofs in the greater Kansas City area since 1990. Schedule your estimate today. Go KC-based, female-owned, Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength. CenturyRoofingKC.com and tell them Cody sent you.
Even a wager that misses can be a slam dunk with BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. Just log into your account today and receive an NBA same-game parlay insurance token. Add an NBA parlay with at least 3 legs to your bet slip and activate the token. If you lose your wager, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets, up to the maximum amount specified on your token. Don't sweat a missed shot when you wager with same-game parlay insurance. No opt-in is required. Just log into your account today and receive your NBA same-game parlay insurance token. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking long-lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk and run and climb stairs and play golf and move again pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. This is an all-natural solution. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. Take action now and live your best life this spring and summer. And it's a great use of your tax refund check. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
When a cold keeps you up, try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste to give your body the rest it needs to get that cold gone. Wake up refreshed, feeling relieved after enjoying the delicious flavor of NyQuil Severe Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor, use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or hiring someone to move your piano instead of doing it yourself. So, do things the better way. Bundle home and auto and save up to 25% with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So, when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. From PassItOn.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit GetJim.com.
Coming up in about 10 minutes. This is a
Banger.
good song.
You know who
We're gonna
sings
a random
it?
question of the day.
You know what it is? Depeche Mode?
Oh, is that what it is? Depeche Mode?
I think, Depeche Mode. This is a big golf song for me.
This is a golf song for you.
Big time. This is like you make the turn, you just finished the glizzy, and your friend's cooler is now the one that gets brought into. Yeah, I can't get enough of this song. I love it. By the way, Oklahoma State just fired their basketball coach.
Yeah, Boynton. He's out.
Gone.
He was there for what, 7 or 8 years?
I don't even know who he is. I just saw it on TV, so I thought it was worthy of telling people.
Well,
it's tough when you don't have Kate Cunningham on your roster.
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt. Are we all rooting against Oklahoma tonight so we can officially bid thee farewell to Oklahoma and Texas? Like, kick rocks, losers. Get out of here. We don't want you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the official, I know they'll still play in the NCAA tournament. That's the be gone of...
Oklahoma did lose. They both lost.
Oh, that's right. Oh, so they're gone.
It
Great,
was funny.
perfect.
TCU's band, as they were ending the game, were SEC. There.
No, that's pretty good.
Mizzou won the Big 12 tournament and danced all over the floor with SEC signs. You remember that?
Yeah, that
Kim
was
English.
That was a pretty
And look
badass
where they
way
are
to
now.
leave.
Yeah. Denny Gates, man.
Let's just talk about that for just a minute. I was going to get into the rules, which we can in just a second.
Always
I'm
pay
telling you
off
right now,
your tees.
I understand. Whatever. What's that? Like Radio 101? Who cares about that?
Yeah.
This is the 14th ranked mid-market midday show in the country. We do what we want on this show.
Oh man, we could have another topic about what's the best holiday Reese's.
Oh, it's the
egg.
Easter one.
Yeah, right now we are in the prime Easter.
Matter of fact,
season.
it's not particularly close in the holiday candy in general.
Is it number
Easter
one?
has holiday candy crushed for any other variety.
Starburst
of candy.
jelly beans.
Doesn't matter if it's Halloween. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas. Easter candy is the best grouping of candy out of all of them.
Yeah,
agreed.
Were you
just the jelly bean variety?
I used to get
alone.
I used to get pissed during Easter egg hunts when there'd be like 50 cents in an egg and not like a candy.
So, okay, great question.
Yeah.
So
we're all over the place.
Yeah, we are. It's fine. I was going to get into something else, but it's fine. We can get back to Dennis Gates in just a second.
Yeah.
I have to deliver 12 plastic eggs full of something for my kids' preschool next week.
Mm-hmm.
They said I could have money or candy. You're saying I should go candy?
Yes. Kids don't want coins. You're not putting $1 in there, are you?
I don't know. I mean, $12. Am I
You
giving?
can't
I'm
eat-
getting a group of preschoolers I don't even know $12.
You know.
I think I'd rather just spend $12 in a bag of candy. Might cost me less.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could put like 2 Starbursts in there. You could put like 2 different multi-flavored Tootsie Rolls in there, like the vanilla mixed with the orange.
Yeah, I'll just
eat them together, and you got an orange cream.
Sounds like we agree it's candy.
Yes.
Back on Missouri basketball. No candy for them. They finished 0-19 in the SEC. Dusty, I know you looked up a list of the last things that happened since somebody did that in the SEC, which we can get to in just a moment.
Yeah.
I know it cost a lot, and I know that he has a top 5 recruiting class coming in next year. People, Missouri fans in particular, love to point that out to me. I think this is fireably bad. Like, I understand how much they owe him. You should get your ass fired if you finish winless in your conference, especially a year after you were in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
There is no reason to fall that hard. How bad of a coaching job did you do? How bad of a recruiting job did you do? How bad did you do in the portal?
Right.
Winless in your conference?
They did lose a big player.
Winless?
They did lose a big player to an injury, which I know is an excuse.
I mean, that's part of the story. I understand.
They were very successful last year for him. And if we're going to be fair, and we have this narrative all the time with NFL coaches, they get fired after like 1 year. I will say if it is a missed opportunity next year, as in like maybe they don't make the dance, which is tough. The SEC's tough, right?
With that class, he's definitely gone if they don't make it next year.
Yeah, and I think they gotta get there next year. But I think his seat got unexpectedly very warm.
Yeah, he just got an extension. All of a sudden, you're like, what, you're on the hot seat?
Yeah.
I think winless, man. Winless in your conference.
That's a very big black eye on your coaching resume because there are 19 games, and you mean to tell me you didn't win one, and then
and then you had a lead in the SEC tournament, just
and
to
you blew it in
get rid of
14
the zero.
seconds.
Yeah, I mean
that's tough.
Like you just go back through and you look at the coaches who have either had success at Missouri or in more recent history have not had success at Missouri. Like Dennis Gates finished 25-10 last year.
Good season, great season,
great season.
Yeah.
I think should have gotten past the second round of the NCAA tournament because things really opened up for him. But whatever. They lose in the second round of the tournament. First year as a head coach. But like they hadn't won 25 games in a season since Frank Haith in 2011.
And he was crooked.
So, yeah, look, I've already told you. I think UMKC should cheat.
But
just cheat.
How many years did Kim Anderson get? 2? And they fired him?
3.
He got 3. So and I think I could be wrong. Maybe this is fake news, but I think if they were to fire Dennis Gates, they'd have to pay him like $20 million.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Mizzou's paying. I think that's what it is. I think I saw Brandon Kiley tweet that last night.
But here's Konzo Martin. Finished 4th in the SEC, 12th, 10th, 7th, and 12th. So his best finish was 4th. His worst season was 12th.
Yeah.
Dennis Gates, his best season is 4th. His worst season is going to be dead last, 14th.
Yeah.
He's going to finish dead last. Like, I understand. Like, so, yeah, 25-10 record and 11-7 in the SEC is not bad. But he finished 4th in the conference. Konzo Martin did that in his first year, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then they let Konzo keep living off of that for a while, and he never smelled success again. If this starts to stink in a hurry, you better go a different way. Now, I do want to get to your list. You looked up everything that has taken place
since 1908. No, what happened for the first time in 1908, which was the last time they didn't win a conference game.
All right, so what happened?
The first Model T Ford was made and sold.
Model T?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an old car.
We don't even have Model Ts anymore, do we?
This is
I'm assuming there's a couple
that
like drive around in a parade or something.
Yeah. The first The first message was sent from the Eiffel Tower.
From like a radio transmitter, yeah.
From a radio transmitter. So we're talking Eiffel Tower radio transmitter, first time ever had been sent since the last time they went winless in the conference. What was it? The felt pen had been created?
Yeah, the felt pen. Or the felt tip marker pen.
Now we got Sharpies, gel pens, colored pencils, crayons.
Just bought my daughter a whole bunch of gel pens.
Oh, really? They're still a thing.
Yeah, her friend had some at school.
And then also the final one that you looked up, the vacuum cleaner, the upright portable vacuum cleaner was patented.
Oh, all right. So you're
1908.
telling me before this, they didn't even have an upright vacuum cleaner? What did it look like?
Yeah.
Is that not possible?
Maybe they used it like the Coneheads mom, where they just put the tube in the mouth and vacuum the floor. Yeah.
And as we said earlier, the Titanic wasn't even
on the water yet. It was probably
yet.
being built because it set sail in 1912.
So they were probably.
It was probably getting
the
like
process.
they were probably finishing the middle deck,
the hull.
Yeah,
I understand the cost associated. I do.
Yeah.
I understand.
Didn't they just
very
get-
difficult to? But like they just lost their AD because they ran them out of town, back to the old school they were in, and now look, you can say recruiting class all you want. How many of those kids are going to hold on?
Yeah.
And like, fine, who you've got commit. How many are holding on until you actually get them signed and on campus?
Is the number still 3 right
it's
now?
fourth
Or
ranked.
4?
Yeah, the fourth ranked recruiting.
I mean, the fact that they've lasted this long
impressive.
is pretty
that
impressive.
somebody hasn't asked to change.
Imagine their friends like just clowning them in text messages. Hey, that school you're going to next year didn't win a conference game, and they lost their first conference game in the tournament.
That'd be the first thing I'd say. If I were like second in the recruiting thing for getting those kids there, I'd be making my calls right now.
You don't want to
Someone
go to
from the
Mizzou.
5-7-3. The last time Kansas lost back-to-back games by 20 points was versus Missouri in 1919. If you need an example of how bad things are going for Kansas, I'm not so sure I wouldn't make some sort of shift.
It is the first time that KU has not made it to the quarterfinals ever.
That just more speaks to their success, you know?
True.
Like I understand.
It also shows
It's
you
still
how
bad that
bad,
they-
how bad the season's going, but
Yes.
also how good the conference is. I know that obviously is the counter.
A little bit of both, but yeah, they are. I mean, they're also just bad. I'm not going to deny that. I teased coming into the break a little bit of something about the NFL. The Eagles have proposed a couple of rule changes, multiple across the board. Most of them, I would say, whatever. We want a third challenge, whether we win the first or the second challenge. We'd like a third one. Fine, whatever. Don't really care. Doesn't move the needle. But the biggest one is the onside kick alternative. And the more I dove into the numbers, Dusty, the more I realized it is desperately needed an adjustment. You used to get about 1 every 5 onside kicks. That was the rate. You had a shot. Was it a prayer? Sure. Did you have to go score still after getting the onside kick? Absolutely. But you had a 1 in 5 shot. It is down to such a tiny number. It is a useless NFL play. And if you got a useless NFL play, get rid of it. It holds no value. It holds no entertainment value. It is meaningless. So get rid of it. 4th and 20 to me reopens that same door as it did before. As in, I give pretty much any team a 1 in 10 shot of getting 20 yards, whether on accident, on purpose, with a run play, a design pass, whatever. I give them about a 1 in 10 shot. I probably give Patrick Mahomes about a 20% shot. But I like the idea of incorporating a rule that is not a more dangerous play, which is why they got rid of those onside kicks anyway and made them harder. Instead, it's just a regular NFL play, just a 4th and 20.
Who do you think are the top 3 most confident you would have in completing a 4th and 20?
Okay, in the league right now?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes won. I mean, just not even close. Josh Allen. I mean, think about his legs too, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be.
Lamar?
Yeah, probably Lamar. I think the guys who can run are going to be higher on my list because there's more than one way.
I'd put Burrow up there just because he can get the ball.
He just kinda has
He
it,
has that 20-yard throw down. Now it helps having Higgins and Chase, but I would put percentages that I would trust the most in the NFL: Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow.
Yeah.
Who are the top 3 that you would give the least credit that could get a 4th and 20? Russ?
Dude, nobody threw more behind the line of scrimmage than him last year. So
Right.
if I'm assuming starters, probably
Yeah.
Russ.
Okay.
Dak. No, not Dak.
Aiden O'Connell.
I think Gardner's a starter there.
Aiden O'Connell, he's too young that he might just whatever, and chuck it. You know who's never going to throw? You know who's going to have
Bryce Young?
Who'd have 15 shots? At least got his legs.
Yeah.
You know who'd have 15 shots in a row at this thing and never once would the ball travel 20 yards?
Kirk Cousins.
Derek Carr.
Oh, okay.
The ball would never even travel 20 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Because for some guys,
not a single throw would even go that far.
Because for some guys with the receivers they have, they could just throw like a 10-yard slant and be like,
Yeah, like
go
Tua
get the
can
10.
just he can give it to Tyreek, and maybe Tyreek gets the extra 15 you need.
Yeah.
But again, Derek Carr's never going to even throw it that far. Deshaun Watson might also be on my list. He stinks. We do not discuss enough how much he stinks. He is awful. He's
Will
a bad,
Levis.
He's a
I'd
bad
give-
quarterback.
You'd give Will Levis more credit over Derek Carr?
He's got the legs.
Yeah, he's got
but,
legs.
He's also got Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins.
Daniel Jones.
By the way,
Daniel Jones.
Come on, Drew, my guy, is going to start in New York.
I know. I said that the other day. I said he's starting
yeah.
week 1, and I don't think Cody or Gold agreed.
100%
Daniel Jones is not winning that job.
They've already said they want to get rid of him. They want to eat you want to talk about the Dennis Gates
They
conversation where
watch
you just
Russell
eat.
Wilson's contract, and they're just like, screw it.
You want to talk about the Daniel Jones contract or the Dennis Gates contract where you don't want to eat. You want to eat $20 million for going 0-19. You eat Daniel Jones contract.
Drew Lock is bringing the backpack with him.
Can't
He's
wait.
starting.
Is there anyone who's against the 4th and 20 rule? I don't know.
I'm not against it.
I don't know who would be.
I guess the only argument is
They make a
you've
good-
put yourself in a dangerous situation. Do you deserve a 20% chance to continue going?
They also made a good point on the text line. 4th and 20 is just one defensive holding a call for.
I don't
away.
care.
Yeah,
so someone
dude.
said, hey, do you eliminate that as an automatic first down?
No, defensive holding.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. No, because if you eliminate as an automatic first down, I'm going to let you know right now, they're all holding.
Yeah.
And they're just going to pray to see if you call it. Everyone's holding if you eliminate
Pass
the hold.
interference.
You should, as a defense, have enough pride in your damn self to stop someone from getting 20 yards on your ass. Sometimes you're going to get embarrassed. And I understand, odds are against you.
Yeah.
And, maybe this is the argument of, should you put a 10-point spot 3/4 of the way from the hoop in a basketball game? We're talking about entertainment. Right now, if you are down and you go down and score a touchdown, you're down 2 scores, you have no way in which to come back.
No.
That's why I want the Elam inning in basketball. You could still technically come back. The clock doesn't work against you. It's points. Get enough stops. Continue to score. Stop them from scoring.
Right.
And you have a chance to win. That's all I'm asking is that if you go all the way down the field, score a touchdown, then complete a 4th and 20.
Correct.
And are driving down to score again, I'm not going to feel bad for the team that lost it because, must be nice to be able to just get that 4th and 20 and bring yourself back in the game. Stop somebody. You had 8 chances.
How quickly would it be successful for the Chiefs that they'd also have to start tinkering with that rule?
Yeah.
Because remember,
I know.
New England, they didn't let Patrick Mahomes touch the ball. Chiefs challenged the rule. No, we're keeping it the same way. Buffalo, Josh Allen doesn't challenge the rule. Chiefs advantage, right?
The good news
they
is
changed the rule.
Yeah.
Overtime changes. And in the first time that it really mattered, where overtime rules changed in the playoffs, the Chiefs were successful with it because they won the game in the Super Bowl because the team they played were idiots and decided to take the ball instead of kick it, which is hilarious.
In fairness, though, I think this rule would favor them.
Who, the Chiefs?
Yes.
Of course.
They have a massive,
of course.
What do you get?
How many
Patrick Mahomes
times-
twice as much chance as the next closest guy?
Not only that, but how many times did the Chiefs have this year alone where it was 3rd and 18 or 3rd and 21, and they just sent 4 verticals, and Patrick Mahomes just ran for 20 yards?
A lot.
And
in
then
the postseason and late in the season in particular.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those things, man, where it's just it's an advantage for the Chiefs, and it's a disadvantage. It's more of an advantage for the Chiefs than it is an advantage for everybody else in the NFL. So, of course, we're all favored for it.
Yeah, but I just don't know. Even if Derek Carr was your starting,
And also, look at the world we're living at, where we can finally say that we're comfortable with 4th and 20. Imagine that time that
Part
we're
of me
living in.
thinks 20% is low, and I should just give him a 50-50 shot of getting 4th and
Probably.
20.
We're probably prisoners of the moment, and bias is all hell. But I just trust the Chiefs to get it more than anybody else in the league, and it'd be a point where it'd be all right, this is annoying. We got to tinker this rule.
I think you could put Mahomes at 30%. And there's a 30% chance Mahomes gets it done. I would say there's a 20% chance, 1 in 5, that Joe Burrow, Josh Allen get it done, and then 15% Lamar Jackson, and then everybody else at 10 or lower.
The only part that is an advantage for the Chiefs is someone says, "When's the last time they needed an onside kick from the 816?"
That's a good point.
I mean, in fairness, it's an advantage if they're ever in that position.
Yeah.
How often are they actually in that position? And the answer is almost never.
Right.
right? I mean, they lead. This goes back to like the single digits. They've lost by double digits like a handful of times in the entire time Patrick Mahomes has been here. So the odds of them needing a score and then needing another score are pretty low.
Yeah.
But you got to feel good if you're actually in that position. It gives you a chance to win a game you have no business winning, and they have business winning almost every game they play. So in the few games in which, the handful of games in which things went really bad for Kansas City, and they needed a couple of miracles at the end in order to make a difference, wouldn't you like Patrick Mahomes with the ball one more time on 4th and 20 with a shot? I would. And I also trust the Chiefs' defense. I trust most defenses to get a stop on 4th and 20.
I feel like somebody on the text line brings up an interesting question. Do you think there would be, from the 816, do you think there would be an unintended consequence of teams hogging the ball to just keep it away from the other team? So if you're scoring to go up 14-0, we're doing a 4th and 20 to get the ball back again.
So the original rule would limit to the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't just do this over and over. And by the way, no team is that aggressive. Not even Dan Campbell himself would consistently take a 4th and 20 from the 20.
Staley might.
Versus just kick the ball. No one's taking on that much risk. I understand the fear, but this idea is based on that. So you can't do it right before halftime either and just give up the, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just doing that. It doesn't work that way.
My parlay, guys, not that you care. North Carolina's up 79-55. We can check that box.
Okay.
UConn is now up 73-49. There's 3 minutes and 45.
Oh my goodness!
I know, dude.
I told you.
It was 34-33 at halftime. It's now 73-49.
What's it, like a 40-3 scoring run?
And Hurley speech.
And I have minus 10.5 for North Carolina to cover. That's good. Minus 15 for Connecticut to cover. That sounds like it's good. And then I just have BYU money line, who are 3-point favorites.
18-point dogs.
And they're about to be down by 20.
In fairness, before you made that bet, did you know that Mr. BYU, Andy Reid, was in the building?
He's in the house, rocking his alma mater.
You probably would have bet. Would you have bet differently, knowing that Andy Reid was in the building?
I'd have hammered the line, minus 3. I'm glad I didn't see it.
You'd have bet BYU even more.
I think it's too much pressure. These guys saw Andy Reid on the sideline, courtside, and were like, oh, man, I don't know.
Disappoint him?
Maybe they need to bring Eric Bieniemy in like the Chiefs did in the playoffs.
BYU needs Jimmer Fredette to win this game.
What, to just like step in with 17 minutes to go?
They're down by 20 with 17 to go. Gosh, I'm going to miss 2 parlays in 2 days on one leg. Hate to see it.
Ugh. What was the leg you missed on yesterday?
Oh, did you? Yeah, I was going to say, did you?
I missed Texas. I had Texas winning money line. They were 4.5-point favorites, and they lost to K-State. And then the funny thing is, I had Georgia minus 2.5.
And that was
would have been the most electric backdoor cover I would have ever hit. Yeah, 50-30 is the score. Texas Tech in the Big 12 tournament over BYU, the 4 seed and the 5 seed.
Speaking of Jimmer, he had done one of those like Chad Powers, Eli Manning type of videos where he showed up on campus for the walk-on trouts and was just balling out on everybody in a fat suit.
Yeah. Chad Bowers.
Was it for BYU? He went to
Yeah. He just showed up on campus and was doing a walk-on tryout and was just killing everybody.
Okay, so let's get to the random question of the day.
Okay.
Random question.
I had one plan, but I'll make it about that because it continues the conversation.
What was your original?
Recently. Well, I had to go. Well,
you want to save it for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. When I recently like that video of Jason Worth going to like a men's league game. We were talking about that earlier, and just hitting an absolute
bomb. He had a crank over to left field.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
If you were a professional athlete, would you enjoy going to lower levels to dominate for a couple of days? So, like, you're Jimmer Fredette, doesn't matter. You're a former professional basketball. You're a JJ Redick, and you show up to the Y. Mm-hmm. In a men's league game, you're playing the 3 spot for us in the men's league game. Would you enjoy it? Would it be fun for you? If you're Vinny Pasquantini and you showed up to a wood bat league,
as yourself,
would it be funny for you
up?
To just go there, or would it just be kind of boring? As yourself. You're just Vinny Pasquantino showing up to a men's league game, ready to absolutely
I feel like that kind of kills the...
That's kind of like the equivalent of going to like an elementary school playground and just dunking on an 8-inch rim.
Yeah, if you're
8-foot rim.
If you're in the costume, I think you challenge yourself. While also people are like,
what if you're a former athlete? You're Dan Marino and you're going to go play some flag football and just drop dimes on people. Is it fun?
Probably at that point in his life.
Like you're Tom Brady. You're just out there playing flag football.
Not for Tom. For Dan, yeah, probably.
Someone says for a solo game, absolutely, but I'm not like playing every week.
Because like that's why I don't play men's league softball anymore. Because we played like in the fun like C League where it was like you played 2 games a night
Everyone drinks. Supposed to be
supposed
pretty
to have
low.
like you can hit 5 home runs, whatever, and then guys from like the B League and the A leagues would
Just
come
get
play
practice and
just
stuff.
to get practice, and they would just hit
that's no
bombs. And, like,
fun.
it was no fun for us. Now it might have been fun for them because they were like insecure dudes just hitting like towering shots off a bunch of like 19 to 22-year-old kids just trying to have fun and drink some lattes. But here we are talking about this. Like, would it be fun to go like, I don't know.
For one game, I think it would be enjoyable. Like
Would it be
Jason Worth showing up
Would it be
and
fun?
just hitting a tank off of
Would it
somebody.
be fun for me to go to like a junior amateur, like local golf tournament of kids that just want to play golf for fun, and I go out there and like from their tee box drive the green? Hell yeah, that'd be fun because I can't do that in general. So like,
That's essentially your comparison.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's me showing up to like 10-year-olds basketball game, and I'm just doing. Nah, 10-year-olds might be too old. I might get.
Yeah, you might get housed in
I
that.
might-
We've seen your basketball game.
You know what? 10-year-olds might be too old. I might need to go
I think
lower.
it's more humiliating if you do like basketball for some reason in my mind. Where if you
Just posterizing like 8-year-olds.
if Tiger Woods shows up and is hitting pipes from the kids' tees,
Yeah.
I think the kids love it.
He's not hitting pipes. He's just hitting like 7 irons.
Yeah.
I think kids would love that. Actually, I think Tiger would like it. I think kids would love it. Where if you're getting dunked on, eventually it's just got to end. Like, all right, this is not as fun.
Like I told you, the hit I gave up to, he was like played for the T-Bones the year before. I'm like, what are you even doing here, man?
Well, you were talking
You
about
played semi-professional baseball. You want to
Yeah.
come hit my 67-mile-per-hour fastball?
Well, didn't Roger Clemens and Roy Oswalt just pitch in the Banana League, the Savannah Bananas League? I'm sure that was fun for them because they've been out of the game for a while. You know, Roger Clemens, he's a competitive, cheating red ass, so you know he was out there just thrilled to throw strikeouts against those people.
Like
but
if I were Flacco's in the league. He got signed to be the backup for Anthony Richardson for the Colts. But let's say 3 years from now he's retired. He's like 50 years old, whatever. 5 years. He's 50 years old and he's retired.
Yeah.
And he's like, I kind of like the competitive stuff, man. I like scratching the itch.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, men's league flag football, it's 4-on-4, and I'm getting ready to just drill people. One of the flag football in like the year, like it was my early 20s, same thing. I was playing in a flag football league, and like some former Missouri players were in it. I'm out here trying to guard some like former D1 athlete.
This just
And you're
reminds
just like, what am I doing?
This just
I'm gonna
reminds
get
me
my
of
ass
Billy
kicked.
Madison when he gets the dodgeball. He's like, now you're all in big trouble.
Somebody on the text line said Jason Williams, white chocolate, plays in a competitive basketball league and doesn't turn it on until somebody talks trash.
And then just flips it.
And you know there's always that guy that's going to talk trash.
100%. I'm dominating you. I'm dominating.
I always love those guys that get humble quick.
You hit one jump shot against me. He's like, well, you're never scoring.
Jason Williams is a dog, man.
Didn't Kyrie do that? He dressed up as Uncle Drew and then like went out there
that's
and everybody's
another
like, who the hell is this guy? I'm more in sort of favor of the guys from Jackass that dress up in old people costumes and then go around and cause havoc in the streets. That's where I would have fun.
I thought you were going to say like those guys that dress up as old grandpas and go lift like go squat like 600 pounds on the squat rack or whatever.
Yeah.
It is funny to fool people in those situations. I'll give you that.
If you have a costume, I think it is way more funny for the people who you're competing against in a way. Like, oh
Yeah.
crap, like no wonder. Like, and you're not losing to a grandpa, you're losing to LeBron James. Like, it makes it more fun.
I mean, I wouldn't hate after if I found out LeBron James. What do I care?
I'd be like, yeah, there's something going on here.
Look, if LeBron,
Look, if I'm in any random pickup game that I would be involved in,
Yeah.
the second someone like hits one reverse dunk, I'm like, okay, well, I'm out.
if LeBron showed up and you're like, and you're trying to take charges and he's running you over, eventually I think it would get old.
Someone
Yeah.
says Roger Clemens got rocked. Well, he's not juicing anymore, you know?
Yeah, he was kind of fat.
Did you guys see the Savannah Bananas brought out? I don't know if that's what they're talking
Yeah.
about, but
Yeah, Clemens and that's what
Roy
we're talking about.
Oswalt was also out there.
Yeah. He mentioned that earlier. You weren't listening.
He just
sir.
pulled a Cody
I'm
Tat.
sorry.
That's my move.
That's a Cody Tat. Drew's dressed up as you trying to impress
Yeah.
us.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the show.
When we come back, there's teams that won't trade with the Chiefs anymore. Why?
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Heartland Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Surely, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 2 offices, Overland Park, Kansas, and Independence, Missouri.
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope, whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to victorychrysler-dodge-jeepram.com.
3, 2, 1. It's mid-March. Time to pick your bracket, stock the fridge, and get ready for the dance. The Hy-Vee Market Grill is ready too, with smoking hot deals on your barbecue favorites. It's a slam dunk when you serve pulled pork sliders 2 for $3, a full slab of St. Louis-style ribs $15, and boneless chicken wings just $8 a pound. Add Hy-Vee coleslaw and potato salad for a buzzer-beating finish. Don't miss the Hy-Vee Market Grill Smokeout Thursday through Sunday at your Kansas City area Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Kling. It's been documented. I have a severe case of spring fever right about now. Nothing goes better with a hint of warmer weather than a little barbecue. So head with me to Hy-Vee this weekend for their annual Smoke Out event. Get perfectly smoked and seasoned barbecue prepared by the Hy-Vee Market Grill. Dine in or carry out pork sliders 2 for $3. Boneless chicken wings $8 a pound, or a full slab of ribs for just $15. And don't forget to add all the sides to complete the meal. It's the Market Grill Smoke Out this Thursday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
FanDuel is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bets win. You can bet on the NBA with a wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays, player props. You can bet on MVP, Rookie of the Year, defensive players. You can bet on your NBA award. So as we head toward the playoffs, we also have the tournament coming up in college basketball, so you want to be prepared with my friends over at FanDuel. So use FanDuel, use my promo code CDOT, and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA, and also 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
If you're looking for the most epic place on earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
At Lowe's, pros save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 230 or more select James Hardie fiber cement siding panels. And there's more. Save 10% when you buy 9 or more select premium foam flooring underlayment. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out?
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Burns Hot Stove, Thursday night starting at 6 o'clock. 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City. WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Shawty's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like na 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 na
Every day.
It's like my iPod stuck on replay. Shawty's like a melody.
Back in here on Cody and Gold. Cody Tapp, Dusty Likens with you. Drew on the other side of the glass. Dusty and I will be out at No Other Pub tomorrow from 10 until 2.
Can't wait.
We're going to have some giveaways. I don't know what the giveaways are. But I know that we'll have them. And that's what matters. I think I still got some Cody and Gold shirts. Should I bring those?
Sure.
Give a few of those away, maybe?
How many of those prizes in that little back area have not been picked up? Should we give away some of that stuff, or do you have to hold on to it?
So the original agreement when they had paid us through PayPal was that you had 3 months to pick them up, or they're ours again.
It's been 3 months.
So technically, they're ours again. I was just waiting until I put them back and the Cody and Gold garage sale at some point, but we'll see. But we'll be at No Other Pub tomorrow, Friday, March 15th, for the Big 12 tournament. Save an extra 12 cents per gallon at Phillips 66 for using the Fuel Forward app. Plus, get 5 cents off per gallon with everyday savings offer. Restrictions apply. Kansas City area only. Breaking news here in the NFL while we were in a break. Joey Bosa has agreed to a restructured contract with the Chargers. So just like Khalil Mack yesterday on his restructure, he's going to restructure his deal to stay with the Chargers. Reminder, 2 years ago, if you're curious how contracts can go bad, like the one they just gave Chris Jones. This is actually this is the worst one to look at because Chris Jones has been way healthier in his career, but he signed a 5-year, $135 million extension with $80 million guaranteed at signing and $102 million guaranteed. He has played in 14 games since. He has played 7 and I think it's 7 and maybe it's less than 14. No, 9 and
4, right? So 13 games.
So 13 games.
Yeah.
9 and 4 games since then. He has played in 7 or less games 3 times in his NFL career. He's played in 16 games 3 times in his NFL career. He is more likely as a player to not complete a full season because he's actually played 8 seasons, in which he didn't play full seasons there either. He's more likely to not play a full season than he is. So I guess if the Chargers want to keep paying him something because they're worried they're not getting enough financial cap, but they're just praying he stays healthy, which I would say is not super common. He's long gone next year. He's only $7 million in dead cap next year versus $32 million against the cap. They can restructure all they want. He's a free man next year. They're just trying to work away the cap to try to keep him and Mac long enough to get rid of their whole team.
We should do like the best and worst brother duos in professional sports. Like which Upton brother is more envious of the other one? Like Justin brother he had the better career, right?
Than BJ? Yeah,
right.
Probably.
Joey's got to be insanely jealous of
This is
Nick.
what's nuts about Travis and Jason Kelsey is that no one has to be like. I guess Jason can be more jealous of the Super Bowl rings now, but that's literally
But
it.
they're both Super Bowl winners.
Yeah.
They're both going to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot.
Correct.
And they're both insanely famous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's
Pretty
no
good combo.
There's no jealousy there.
No, I wouldn't be.
Bosa brothers, Joey is insanely ugly and sounds like Buffalo Bill and has no career of any sort of accolade.
Nobody seems to like him as a person.
Nick Bosa is a sex god. The guy is absolutely amazingly handsome, ripped, and everything. Not saying that Joey's not, but Nick is.
I mean, yeah, Joey's definitely ripped.
Like if you put those two in a room full of 100 girls, 95 of them would be like Nick. The other 5 would be blind. And they still might be able to figure out who's better looking. Not only that, Nick Bosa's career numbers
way better.
And He's played in 2 Super Bowls at least. The one thing they have in common is that we have a fire alarm going on?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
I don't know. We'll probably just hang out.
Is this a test?
I mean, I doubt it's a test. It's probably really a fire alarm. All right, so real quick, the fire alarm is going off in the 610 Sports Radio studio.
What are we supposed to do?
I don't know, man. It's good to know it works. Look,
I
if the
just wanna
sprinklers
record
come
him.
on, that's where we have a problem.
Well, if the sprinklers come on, that means the fire's in here.
Well, it's working.
Somebody
We
fired
are
it.
standing by right now.
Says who? Is he our fire
Spec.
marshal for... Wait, is he the fire marshal for the building?
Why?
Spec-
See,
Spec's
that's
going
the
to
thing.
check.
This is how you know it's not serious, because Rob's the most like side serious boss we have, and he walked in that studio with a grin on his face from ear to ear.
And his hood up.
Rob, are you not worried about the safety of your employees?
I'm not gonna lie, I heard the door in my office open. I thought it was Dusty going to the kitchen, so I was gonna come in here and make fun of him.
Why would that make me go to the kitchen?
Who's in
Oh, you thought it was
standby?
the sound of the beep of the door?
Yeah, I thought the sound of the beep of the door, and I'm like, man, Dusty's getting food at 110. That's
so is
bold.
is Spec here?
Not anymore.
Yeah,
He heard
yeah.
the fire alarm.
So he left.
He's here.
Do we know where the fire is? Is there a fire? Oh, well, you know. Oh,
We're
just
we're
went off.
all right.
Turns out we're safe.
Even the boss is laughing. Like, what's going on?
Who pulled the fire alarm is the real question. By the way, and why was it Carrington? Did he like lean against a wall in the weird spot or something?
That's
Did he use an
weird.
accident or on purpose?
There was a Hey Arnold episode where they tried to figure out who pulled the fire alarm. I forget who it was, but they had peanut butter on their hands, and that's how they figured it out. Hey Arnold.
Thanks for the heads up on that one. And don't worry, we're all safe.
Yeah, everybody's good. We're all good.
We're all okay. You don't have to worry about us anymore. That's a first, though. I've never seen the fire alarm actually go off in this building. Also, kind of remarkably quiet. Was the only sound we hearing through the door? Does the fire alarm in here not make a noise because of the whole
Yes, that's
radio
the case.
thing? Is that was it louder out there?
I bet it was atrocious out there.
I open up this door. I open up my door, and it's loud.
That seems kind of risky. I mean, I know the light's flashing, but they're still running the risk a little bit of us not hearing the sound quite as well.
Maybe
like my
that-
back's turned to that thing.
Also, like, if there is, do we go that way? Do we know the proper?
I mean, I go out that door every day. That's just a set of stairs. That's probably the best bet. It's a corner, so less likely for a fire to be there. I think we're probably safe.
Sorry, God, if we pissed you off about the Titanic.
The fire department people were working on the alarm. Apparently, that was why it went off.
Apparently, I've never been in the studio with a fire alarm going off before, and apparently, I've never been on the TV before. That's a little video from that kid.
Yeah.
BYU's cooked. It is 60-38.
That's going to be the leg you don't hit.
R.I.P.
Congrats
third
to
leg.
Patrick Mahomes, Red Raiders, for Texas Tech
Bang,
moving
bang.
on in the Big 12 tournament. We'll get Houston coming up here in the 2 o'clock slate. You going back down today, Drew?
I am. I will be back down there.
You can't get enough.
Right after the show?
It's college hoops, baby. Yeah, I'm going straight down.
He loves college sports, man.
Yeah,
Drew
you-
loves
college
college
sports is my
sports.
mojo,
Yeah,
man.
the biggest
I'm like mediocre on him.
The biggest mistake / greatest thing you could have ever done is when you told Jay Binkley how much you dive into college football. Because he just then took you under his wing and said, "Come here, son."
Like his
mouthful of chew, Mountain Dew in his hand. Let me tell you something about.
You're the son he never had, man, and now he can have that.
Yeah. Because he
I'm
was
glad I
already
can provide that
he was
for Big.
already like extremely jealous of Nick for having a Heisman Trophy vote and would like
know, yeah.
constantly tap in, and be like, "Who you thinking, Nick?" And Nick would be like, "Binkley, I'm not doing this again."
He's not allowed to tell.
Yeah, he can't.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
We got to get you a Heisman vote. Get Nick to cough
I
up
know.
his.
I need the vote.
Speaking of future Club 610s, Boulevard Brewing Company came out with a new corktail.
We had him last Friday.
Oh, yeah, the Selly juice.
They're good.
We
Okay.
had the mango. I don't remember what it was.
Mango something. I had the pineapple breeze one the same week. Actually, I was there at Boulevard, and both are very good.
Adam, delicious.
I love cranberry juice and raspberry juice.
Raspberry juice. I don't know anybody who drinks raspberry.
I don't
juice
think it's a thing. I think I just made it up, but I would drink it. But cranberry juice, I do like. I don't know why. It has that nice dry finish.
I like all the people who know about this Hey Arnold thing. Stinky framed Eugene and
Yep.
left crunchy peanut butter on the fire alarm lever.
Told you. They found it out. Gerald and Arnold went to their detectives class.
My wife loves Hey Arnold.
It's one of the best cartoons of all time. It's one of the
He's also
greatest.
got the greatest kids apartment.
I just
The
found
kids'
out.
room of all
and
time.
maybe you have Netflix, right?
Yeah.
They have every Rugrats episode available on Netflix right now. I found that out hammered at my house one night,
You're watching Rugrats at like 11 p.m.
Did it
4 beers, 10 beers deep, whatever.
4 beers, Hammer. Give me some credit, Cody. No,
I don't know which kind of beers.
I
They
was
were drinking
just,
Take
you know,
Sevens.
the day was over, or the night was over, and I was like sitting in my room looking for Netflix, and I was like, no way. Rugrats? No way, they have every episode. And it was like 3 seasons. Like, there was more than 3 seasons of Rugrats, but there's like 22 episodes per season, and they had them all. And I watched the miniature golf episode where the guy rigged the 18th hole. He put paper underneath the hole that makes you win, and the babies crawled in there because that's where they thought the chocolate chip was, not the championship.
Yeah, I remember
and so they pulled the paper out, and then everybody started getting holes. Yeah, dude. See? See you on Netflix tonight.
Well, my kids will choose some new show eventually, so might as well be Rugrats. At least it's a show from my childhood.
Whoever pulled the fire alarm is a piss baby.
Per the email, not a fire.
We've already got an email.
The fire alarm is being tested for our upcoming fire inspection. Sorry for any inconvenience. Can I say something about this that I overheard in the hallway? Is this going to get me in trouble? Find out. It very well might. About a week ago, I was in the hallway and I overheard someone who helps manage the building speaking to someone who seemed like they kind of knew about this fire thing. And the way they were talking.
Is this the snitch line?
It was like we had already failed the fire test. Like, this building's already not super safe in the fire department. And this might be the, like, hold on, let's really make sure we're good here now. But what I'm saying is my sources tell me this might not already be a fire-safe building. We're working on that. We're trying to improve that before our next fire inspection is what I think's going on.
I have firefighters within my family, and when they would come over to, like, Sunday dinners, they would go through the house and check the fire alarm, make sure they were up to speed.
What?
Oh,
Why?
come on.
Way to ruin a good family. What are you going to do? Check to make sure my
they
fire
would just-
extinguisher's
it
up
was
to
very
date?
subtle. They would just walk up, look at it. They knew what they were looking for. And they
I don't need you to test my fire alarm
Thank
if you're
you.
over for dinner.
They didn't test it. They just made sure it was set. Like, they would look at see if the battery was in there. They made sure it was set up right, that it was on.
But you don't need to do that.
Okay.
I don't come over to make sure you got the Time Warner.
You never
the
saw how,
sports
you never
channels
never
lined
saw
up.
how my aunts cooked. So
I'm just trying to make sure.
It's a good point, Cody. We're not going into our relatives and like setting up their YouTube TV lineup for a channel. Why do you have the news at the top? You need to put ESPN too. And
if I go anywhere on a Sunday for like a family dinner, I'm like, do you have this game on before I travel? Like before I drive 25 minutes to
you
Blue
have to
Springs,
find
release
out.
something big. What game do you have on? Do you have Fox or do you want my Red Zone account? Can we put that on? We're having family dinner, Dusty. Just get here and let's have a conversation about life. Okay, fine. All right.
That's all. Boy, really getting distracted here based on that. But that's fine. Someone says they're just trying to make sure that Johnny Dare doesn't messing with a flamethrower again. I think he was doing that outside, in fairness.
They have some weird stuff over on that side of the station.
I'm kind of jealous. I think we need more stuff like that. I
No,
would
we need
also
more
like to use a
flamethrowers.
flamethrower in the parking lot.
But have you
I'm
also
not gonna
seen
lie.
the other stuff that's over there? There's like a blow-up doll. There's novelties. There's a bunch of
It's
weird
getting
stuff.
weird over there, huh?
We can walk over there afterwards. I noticed it the other day. Because like the only water fountain that we have that we can use is on the other side of the station. And I walked over there, and as I walked back, I saw that one of the doors was open. I'm always nosy. I kind of peeked my head in there, and sure enough, right on top was a beige-colored novelty on top of a drawer. And I was like, gotta be Johnny.
Well, that show operates a little bit different than us, you know? They got a little more clout. They can get away with more than we can.
I'd say. I'd say they got some clout.
Let's just establish that.
All right.
Let's get back into the Big 12 tournament a little bit. KU and K-State both played last night. Big 12 tournament action now. Looks like BYU's.
They got it down to 19.
Yeah, they're done.
Okay.
Texas Tech, the winner over there, it appears. And then we'll get, Houston coming up at 2 o'clock. But KU and K-State, I was way more intrigued by the K-State end of it because Kansas got their ass kicked. They're without 2 starters. It's been a really bad year, and there's going to be a lot of work to be done for me to have any faith that Kansas isn't losing on the first weekend. I don't think they're getting to the Sweet 16. And that's not a hot take. Most people will probably feel that way about Kansas. K-State is intriguing because what I want to know about them tonight, and I need both, like if you're a K-State fan, I'm going to think that you're a little rose-colored glasses. 913-586-7610. If they win tonight, are they in? Like if they win the game tonight and that's it, are they in the NCAA tournament? Is 2 wins against Iowa State in the last week and a win against Texas enough to get them in the tournament?
Can we discuss the semantics of in? Are they in like they don't have to play one of those?
They get to play one of these 68 teams. Let's just say for that.
So not the play-in game.
they're in the first 4 is
Okay,
what you're
that's-
saying.
Yeah, first 4.
That counts as in.
I think the first 4 counts because they're 68 team. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's I would say so.
If they beat Iowa
As an
State,
11 seed.
if they beat Iowa State tonight, 1,000% they're in.
1,000%?
1,000%.
I agree. I think that they're locked in.
They would have the RPI in the Big 12.
That would get them to 20 wins, but like a lot of the other metrics don't like them.
But they made it to
RPI
Friday.
might, but a lot of the other ones don't. Ken Palm and the advanced stats and all those things they look at, those don't favor Kansas
But
State.
one thing we love when we watch Selection Sunday, which is one of the best days of the year, and it's very entertaining to me, is that they'll get the committee on. They'll be like, we were very impressed. They beat Kansas, who's a 4 seed, still good. They beat Iowa State, who's a 2, borderline 2-3 seed, and they got to Friday. And then
they beat Villanova, who now might be a tournament team based on that win last night.
What a terrible loss for DePaul. You talk about Missouri.
Awful.
You talk about Missouri, who lost 19 straight conference games. DePaul last night with that 3-pointer with ice in the veins of Villanova with 3 seconds left was their 20th consecutive loss.
Turn it over right afterwards.
DePaul was plus 1,800 to win that game.
I think the text line might be right. Someone says you got to win tonight, but you got to also not get blown out tomorrow.
Which
I think something about like beating Iowa State and then Houston just absolutely burying you for 30 doesn't exactly. I'm not sure that does enough for the resume. They finished 10th in the Big 12, man.
17.
10th.
We got a timeout on the floor by Tech. 8:50 left, 17 points.
Cody, to embrace the K-State fandom that I was tasked with.
Oh, that's right.
When I first moved here. Oklahoma is one game better than them in the conference.
Also beat them by 20.
Texas, hang on. Texas is better than them in the conference by 1 game, and they're the 7th seed.
Also beat them in February. I mean, they split their games, but it's not like Texas
but when
hasn't
it mattered
beaten
most,
them.
who won the game? Texas was already considered a lock in the turn. They're an 8 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They're a 9 seed now. Lenardi's got them as a 9 seed. Jerry Palm's got him as a 10. He'll be on the drive later on today with C-Dot. I think that when you, it's partially recency bias, but to your point, you need to take the entire season into account. I think the reason Texas is in is the reason they have a similar record as K-State is because they lost to UConn and Marquette early in the season, 2 teams that are still very legitimately top 10, top 15 teams. UConn, of course, top 3 in the country. That helps your resume. But if you're on the bubble, and I think Oklahoma's kind of in that range where they're on the bubble, Oklahoma lost to TCU, who was also near the bubble.
You think K-State can steal Oklahoma's spot?
I think K-State can steal Oklahoma's spot because of them winning last night. And if they beat Iowa State tonight, I feel like they're in because Iowa State, by a lot of people, is considered a 2 or a 3 currently. I just think that in the toughest conference, for you to win 2 big-time games when your backs are up against the wall, you also have to look into the comparison. It's not even against Oklahoma, Cody and Dusty, as much as it is the other schools that are
He wanted to say Gold.
That are at the. No, I said Dusty.
I know, but you wanted to say Gold.
No,
okay.
Normally, it just rolls off the tongue because you're normally not.
You're good. Go ahead.
Anyways, you have Colorado, you have St. John's, Seton Hall, all in that 11 spot. Depending on how they do in their respective tournaments, K-State with the win over Iowa State, if Colorado gets bounced early, or St. John's or Seton Hall in the Big East, all of a sudden, I think K-State's stealing a spot there because they're beating a top 10 team in the country, while Seton Hall and St. John's would be losing to a team that is ranked similar to them. I just think that it's not just the Big 12 we're comparing it to. That's the thing I think we have to remember.
Joe Lenardi says he thinks K-State is very much alive with another win against Iowa State, but he's still claiming that 2 wins is what it would take. If it's 2 wins, then they're done. If it's 2 wins, I just don't think they can get
Who would they
Iowa
play?
State.
So if they win, they would play the winner of Baylor and Cincinnati, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they could win that game. But
Cincinnati has to make it to the championship game to get in my mind. Or they might have to win the whole thing.
Yeah, they're even further back than K-State, sure. Originally, I kind of thought K-State was going to have to get back, but now that we start looking at like the other teams that have fallen around them, honestly, Villanova winning hurts them. You'd rather they lose.
Yes,
you don't want fringe teams getting in. You want fringe teams getting losses, getting early losses, getting out of the tournament.
One thing that helped them was Clemson losing to Boston College in the ACC tournament. I don't think Clemson is out by any means, but in terms of teams that are on the bubble, I think that's something you have to watch is St. John's and Seton Hall and Colorado as well in the final Pac-12.
What percentage chance do you think that K-State's already in? 0?
0.
I would say a 10% chance.
Okay.
I just think there's no way they're putting them in. They're not putting the. I mean, even with like 1 win in the Big 12 tournament against a team that was pretty close to them in the standings, finished 10th, 19 wins. I just don't. They're not putting until this thing expands to 76, which is the whole thing Brett Yormark was talking about yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
they're not putting in the 10th team in the Big 12 until it expands. That's why he wants expansion.
Mm-hmm.
He wants expansion not for college basketball, but because he knows that directly benefits the conference in which he's in charge of. I understand.
I mentioned Seton Hall and St. John's. Those two teams play each other today. St. John's is 19-12. K-State is in a better conference.
They're 19-12
and has the exact same record as them. The
But
Big
what's
East
the?
is-
Then it's
is
always the
not
quad
Big
1,
12.
quad 2 stuff, and all that stuff. And I haven't looked at. I'm not.
K-State is 4-7 against the top 25. I don't know if St. John's has played that many games against the top 25. I would say K-State has the argument over St. John's if they lose, because they'd be 19-13, and K-State will have won 2 games in the conference, including. I feel like if St. John's loses and K-State wins, they have to be in. There's no. I don't see how they can be out.
Here are the top 10 teams St. John has played. St. John's has lost to Marquette, a top 10 team, or top 25 team.
I'm sure, is in there as well.
they lost. They lost to Marquette the other time they faced
Creighton.
them. They lost to Creighton 66-65.
They did beat Creighton recently.
So,
But so in their non-conference, they played nobody.
and yes, they did beat Creighton.
They lost to Michigan, who were 3-16 in the Big Ten this year.
Not good.
It's a bad loss. And
I feel
I
like
know
everyone in college basketball is a bad.
This
loss.
is
I
why
know that's going
selection.
all the way back.
This is why Selection Sunday is so lit. It's just so fun. Like you don't
Even
have to
more
be.
so down to college basketball is a mess.
Oh, and then
A
it's like
mess.
you get all the satisfaction of finding out who's in, and then within 5 seconds, there's tweets, reports, video, audio of who got snubbed, why they got snubbed, and then they have the awkward interview every year that I love, which is the committee does the interview with like Scott Van Pelt. Tell us why K-State got in over St. John, and they'll be like, all right, here's why. We liked K-State in the tournament more than it's just Selection Sunday, man. 5:15 or whatever, 6:15, whatever it is. I cannot wait.
Speaking of Selection Sunday, people, real quick, I was standing next to Bill Hancock on the street, and he's the guy that does all the interviews, or some of the interviews after the college football playoff. And I almost asked him why, like, really? You really kept Florida State out, really? And just seeing
Just
what
going to
he
give
would
Bill a hard time? That's the same as Aaron Ladd giving you a hard time. Just let Bill do his job.
say.
you know?
That was ridiculous.
Let that man work. We can talk about that when we come back. Aaron Ladd gave Drew a hard time. Was he on the right? We'll do that next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
So I'm about to head out of town again, and anytime I'm getting ready to pack, I remind myself what I don't have to pack anymore, which is nice, not to think about contact lenses, contact solution, my glasses, all of that. Something I used to have to deal with when I was traveling, which was kind of a pain in the butt. Not anymore, thanks to DuraVision, thanks to SBK Advanced LASIK, a procedure I went in for just 2 days after my free consultation, where they put together a specific plan that fits my vision goals going forward. And now I just wake up. I don't need glasses. I don't need contacts, and I don't need to deal with that packing when I'm forgetting contact solution, because that's something I used to do. I used to forget the contact solution. I'd have to run to the store while you're on vacation. You don't want to waste your time dealing with that, and you don't have to live that way anymore if you go in for that free consultation. 913-491-3330. That's the phone number to call up DuraVision, 913-491-3330, or go online to DuraVision.com and make your life easier and perhaps get rid of those contacts and glasses as well.
Even a wager that misses can be a slam dunk with BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. Just log into your account today and receive an NBA same-game parlay insurance token. Add an NBA parlay with at least 3 legs to your bet slip and activate the token. If you lose your wager, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets, up to the maximum amount specified on your token. Don't sweat a missed shot when you wager with same-game parlay insurance. No opt-in is required. Just log into your account today and receive your NBA same-game parlay insurance token. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Another year, another Super Bowl. Did you know that the Chiefs won their Super Bowl in their first year of their partnership with Window World? And here we are, 5 years in. The Chiefs are a dynasty, and they're still going strong with Window World as the official window of the Kansas City Chiefs. Window World windows are one of 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, ranked #1 in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. In just over 20 years of business, they have improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 54,000 customers right here in Kansas City. So be sure to call this number, 816-799-0820. Learn more about the double-strength glass that gives the strength that's not commonly used in replacement windows. Learn more about their products that are not only durable, but offer security, beauty, and energy efficiency. Give my friends at Window World a call. That's 816-799-0820. 816-799-0820 to learn more, or also go on the website, windowworld.com.
Hey, honey, I'm home. Bob, I just hung up with Joe. It's the 4th time he's called this week. He says he's worried because for the first time in 12 years, you didn't buy my anniversary jewelry from him.
You didn't tell him, did you?
No, I didn't tell him how we made the switch to Diamonds Direct and how much I love my new diamond ring or these incredible diamond stud earrings you got me either.
Bob's gonna go nuts when he finds out. But I can't believe how all these things he used to say about Diamonds Direct just aren't true. And the prices are a lot better than his.
Yeah, and what I love is the free service at Diamonds Direct. I can get my jewelry cleaned anytime, and everyone there is like family.
Are you getting all you deserve from your jeweler? You might be surprised. Maybe it's time to make the switch to Diamonds Direct for guaranteed better value, selection, service, and quality.
If he comes up on the caller ID, just don't answer it.
All right, but we can't keep dodging him. You know we're gonna see him at the family reunion.
Yeah, I know.
Diamonds Direct. No middleman, no pricing games, no compromises. Get details and showroom directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Old Man Winter here. One more snowstorm and...
Not a chance, Mr. Winter. It's spring.
It's also time for the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, where you can get great deals on all our award-winning Hyundai models, all backed by America's best warranty. Hurry in. These deals won't last at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end soon. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Occupied.
Hurry up.
Go away. I'm enjoying my hot shower. Yeah, we'd all like to. Hot water hog.
That's it. Family meeting. We can all enjoy long, steaming, hot showers. Even the last in line, which it seems is always me. But go ahead. Have that imaginary argument of what you should have said. Take your time. With our new high-efficiency Navien tankless water heater, I'll never take a cold shower again. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy?
Totalmente.
And you get unlimited 5G data, $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan, at an amazing price, with no contracts. Should you switch to Total by Verizon? Definitely.
Totalmente.
Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate with autopay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on What's Trending, the Big 12 tournament currently in Kansas City. Since I had said this BYU-Texas game is over, or BYU-Texas Tech game is over,
baby.
it is now a 7-point game.
They just hit a 3.
As I said, 65-55, so back up to 10 points.
There's
Texas
4:30.
Tech currently in the lead, 4:30 left to go in that slate. Kansas lost last night to Cincinnati. They'll be in action here shortly. Kansas State moved past Texas. They'll be tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's over.
Another big day in Big 12 basketball.
Can't miss shots this late in the game, down by 10. Now they're just going to suck the clock out.
He could have ran to the.
Do you think
he could
Andy
have
went in the locker
ran
room?
for a layup there?
Do you think Andy went in the locker room at halftime?
No, I think he went to the concession stand. That's what smart people do at halftime of those games.
What? Cody, do you remember what the BYU themed food was? They were promoting the K-State PB&J last night.
I gotta be honest, I don't remember.
PB&J?
A fried PB&J.
They got.
Now it's over.
They got the worst one. Now it's a 13-point game.
When I went, they had Papa John's pizza, and I just absolutely crushed everything I could.
Look like Drew got a new coffee mug.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, they provided a thing of original Gates barbecue sauce and a Big 12 little coffee.
Have
mug.
we gotten you to go order at Gates yet?
No, I need to.
Beef on bun, fries, side of hot sauce, extra pickles.
So when they come, so when I walk in the door and they yell at me, just say that.
They'll say, "Hi, may I help you?"
Order.
They'll say, "Hi, may I help you?" Yes, beef on bun, fries, side of hot. Okay, move on over. And then you get yourself a nice strawberry soda on ice.
Sounds like you have to know what you're getting before you walk in that door.
Unless you just get intimidated. I mean, at Lambert's in Springfield, they throw rolls at you or Branson.
Lambert's is great.
Yeah, and they just you don't look, you getting a roll to the side of the head.
Yeah,
like that
someone sued them
umpire
recently over it. It's like,
really?
Yeah, for getting hit with the throwing roll, you're like, that's the whole thing. Heads up.
Talk about good arms too, by the way. I mean, they can sidearm it like Mahomes can.
That's
to
what
get
they
you
should
that
do for promotion. The Chiefs should have Mahomes go in there and throw rolls at Lambert's.
That would be awesome.
How much do they have to pay him to show to do that?
I don't know. Maybe do it out of the kindness
$100,000?
of your heart. You already make enough money.
Just because it's just funny?
Yeah, speaking of what else is trending, Royals announced 2 more Hall of Fame inductees. Former general manager Cedric Tallis and John Scherholtz will join Bo Jackson in this year's nominees for the Royals Hall of Fame
Load
at
them
the
up.
K. Yeah.
Loading them up. It's a couple more names, as you mentioned. Next up on What's Trending, the report says the Chiefs are still looking at wide receiver. Look, I'll be honest. Odell Beckham, his quote today is that he would like a mountain of cash and a bunch of years, but to also win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So that's probably not the case. But a report over at The Athletic says the Steelers have been targeting Tyler Boyd, but one of the hangups has been his possible interest in the Chiefs. So if you're looking for a little juice in
Very interesting.
no more movement other than that. Just one report.
Yeah. PGA leaderboard, Rory McIlroy at -7, Xander Schauffele at -7. There already was a hole-in-one today
Are they in the
at the
clubhouse?
TPC Sawgrass. They are finished. They have turned it in as well. And then the Canadian, Nick Taylor, he is in third with -6. Jason Dye, another Australian, he's at -5. Yeah, that's all the notable names you need to know for the Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass. And again, the hole-in-one on 17, and we have had some golfer hit one on 18, and it went all the way off the green, and then he chucked his club into the pond.
Oh, we love it.
Love to see anger on the golf course.
Love the
Can
passion.
I have that club before you just start checking
If
it
you want to
into
go
the pond?
dive into that thing, you probably, there's somebody that'll go get it. But yeah, it was I don't know, like a wedge that he just, that's it.
I'll take a free. It's probably not nicer than my clubs. Next up on What's Trending, Lions announced extensions for both GM Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell. They'll be with the team through 2027. Makes all the sense in the world. I mean, that's a team that, again, did not matter for a long period of time. They were firmly in the NFC title race last year. Just came up short. Felt like they were maybe a year too early, or maybe they just, it's the 49ers are essentially the Chiefs of the NFC, as in, if you're planning on going to the Super Bowl, you better plan on getting through the 49ers to do it.
And what was their lead at halftime? 24-7?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they were leading
They had
San
a
Massive?
massive lead.
And then he made a couple of fourth down decisions that didn't go well in the NFC Championship game. So,
Yeah, totally fell apart.
yeah, the lights get bright. Your stars show a little bit more, and that's what the Chiefs don't have to worry about. And finally, on What's Trending, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are both restructuring their contracts to stay in L.A. They will still be Chargers. Still the jury out on Keenan Allen, what they're going to do with that. But I would assume with the restructuring with those two, creating cap space, the release of Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack will be staying, and Mike Williams will be departing. At least that's what I feel right now.
Yeah, it feels that way. But we'll see on Keenan Allen. They've at least restructured 2 deals. Only lost one of the players, just Mike Williams, the guy coming off the injury. Another guy I'd be interested in if I were the Chiefs.
Because the sky was falling yesterday for the Chargers. Like, they got till 3 o'clock to get this thing settled.
It is really sad, though, that the Chiefs have to feel the need to go get Irv Smith and Tyler Boyd just to
compete with the Bengals,
just to get some more insight. How do we beat Joe Burrow? We just can't do it.
I don't think.
How'd you guys finish in your division last year? Dead last?
We had an injury to
Sorry,
the
we were
best
too
player on the
busy
team.
winning.
We had an injury to the best player on the team. I'm sure the Chiefs would be the same way.
They're back-to-back Super Bowl champs.
I don't
They
know,
have to
man.
talk about
What's his name? backup quarterback led a 99-yard drive in the playoffs to
Chad Henne.
Yeah, to
so
beat one of your AFC North.
Maybe get some
opponents.
depth on your roster. That's all.
What's Joe Burrow's record against the Browns?
It doesn't matter because the Browns.
That's always, it doesn't matter until the Joe Burrow fans want to point out Burrow's
baby.
record against Mahomes.
It doesn't matter, baby.
And they've been beaten
And I like Cincinnati. Like I admit that. I think
That
they're good
game-
for business.
That game is the Browns Super Bowl, and they show up every year, twice a year, and no other time they show up.
Is Burrow isn't he 3-4 against Cleveland?
Something like that.
Oh, he might even be worse. He might be worse.
Because he lost. The only game they played him this year, he lost. That was opening day, and it was rainy, and everybody was like, "Something's wrong with Joe."
For some reason, I have the feeling that I will say this: he has been hurt in 2 games that he's played against them, but I think he's
Shocker.
He's 1-4. I think against the Browns. I think he's only won 1 game.
Mahomes was hurt against the Bengals once last year. How'd it go? Do you remember, Dusty?
He had 1 leg in the Super Bowl and won.
Some people
That's
can
not
play.
the Bengals' fault. That's the
Some
Eagles' fault.
people can play through the pain, and some can't.
I will say when the most heartbreak I felt it wasn't even the Super Bowl. It was when Joseph Osai pushed Mahomes out after, and I was
He cried, too.
I was not the I felt so bad for him.
Piss baby.
I was not the Bengals fan. I was not the Bengals fan.
Big piss baby after that play.
I was not the Bengals fan who was like, that wasn't a penalty because it was so obvious. I felt so terrible for him because not to say that Harrison Butker wouldn't have made the field goal, but it would have been a
long one,
a very long one.
My buddy Nathan over at Gann Concrete and Asphalt, he's got a signed photo in his basement that Joseph Osai signed of the photo of him pushing Mahomes out of bounds.
Why would he sign it?
I don't know, man.
I respect that.
He signed it though.
I respect that.
It's in his basement. I've seen it.
I would see that and be like, sorry, dude, I'm not signing.
So hey, let's.
He'll take the cash.
I felt so bad for him.
Can we? Why is it so hot in here?
I don't know, dude. It's.
Are we sure there's not a fire in the building?
Ever since the alarm,
it's
it is
really hot.
Can I go shirtless?
Sure, I don't care.
I look like Kirk
Wait,
Cousins.
you don't have an undershirt?
No.
That's another thing that Gold does that's very middle-aged out of him. Every single time he's wearing this kind of shirt, right? Like a pullover, a quarter zip, he only goes plain white tee.
No. Before I moved, the week that I moved here, you guys had this exact conversation
Great
about
band.
hoodies as well. Do you wear shirts under hoodies?
Yes, but not like a white T-shirt.
Yes.
He also, here's the problem with his plan with white T-shirt is, say it gets really hot in here, right? You want to take off your shirt. And say, if you had a T-shirt on, you'd already taken this thing off. You can anyway, I don't really care. But
I mean, I will.
he
go for it, Dusty.
He won't take off his hoodie if all he has underneath is a white T-shirt. He won't expose the world to a white
Maybe
T-shirt.
he's got yellow pit stains under him. He doesn't want to share the world.
Man, I don't know.
And to our question we asked about him earlier off the air, the answer was yes, he did pack him.
Someone says, I'm an alarm service technician, and likely they have triggered a shutdown of your rooftop units, which are providing your air conditioning.
What did I say?
They will need to reset them.
What did I say when I came in here?
Good luck to Carrington and good luck to Rob.
What did I say when I came in here? I go, I bet they shut something down or they're running tests on making sure that all the ventilation systems are working.
Good luck.
Dude, this has happened before at a
drive.
restaurant where they had to test the heat, the fire alarms, and the same thing happened. And they're like, they're shutting everything down. They're making sure, and they're like, dude, I can feel the heat from these lights.
Yeah, should we turn this one down? You can be in the dark for a little bit. Do we need to start taking this down a little
Now
bit?
we got to give the people what they want. They want us on camera, and they want the lighting to be perfect.
They want the lighting to be good.
Yeah.
They want you to be shirtless, and then they want everything else.
No one has said they want me to be shirtless, but
That's true. The text line has not said that.
No. They don't want nobody wants that.
Check on the video stream.
How was Sherholtz just now in the Royals Hall of Fame when he was inducted to the MLB Hall of Fame in 2017? I don't know. How's Bo Jackson just now in the Royals Hall of Fame? No clue. I don't know how that works.
Maybe this is part of their stadium plan.
By the way,
they're dropping $1 million into their stadium plan deal. Maybe this is the next stage. They want to make sure you're thinking about the Royals.
I'd like them to drop $1 million into our heating and cooling system right now. This guy's always coming after me when I'm not around, so now it's my turn to play that role. Why was Aaron Ladd being an ass to you last night? Was he pulling rank on you or something, or thinking he was bigger than you?
That might have been part of it. All I know is that I was sitting there minding my own business. I'd been there for a half hour. I'm watching the game. I was disappointed that I didn't bring my backpack with me, so I was just there, kind of just watching the game. But I was doing social media as well. If you follow us over at 610 Sports KC, you saw some pictures, some of the press conference after with Jerome Tang. But anyways, I'm sitting there. All of a sudden I hear, "What are you doing here? Acting like you're working."
Acting like you're. That's the disrespectful. Acting like you're
I turn around
working.
and it's Aaron Ladd, and I was laughing, but I'm sitting. We're in a media row of people, and there's like 4 or 5 people who turn and look at me like I'm doing something wrong. So Aaron just goes. He didn't even let me answer. He just leaves. And then
coward.
Wow.
So I caught him afterwards after the drum tank presser. I was like, I'm working. I was like, have you not been following our social media page? He goes, no. I was like, I'm posting on social media. He goes, it's not working. All right.
How is it not working? And then later he goes and tweets about how there's like free media
complimentary
beers.
Right. I should have responded.
Oh, not working all that hard, is he? Drinking free beers on the company's dime.
And look, I did not take a beer. I had already left, but I should have responded and been like, look, dude, apparently I wasn't good enough for one anyway, so it's a good thing I didn't take one.
I definitely responded. I said, slow down, lad. It's only Wednesday. Because in the summertime, I'll tweet or I'll put stories up on my Instagram page of like pool settings and a beer in my hand, and Aaron Ladd will always respond with, you are always drinking. And I just respond back with, it is July 14th, it is 94 degrees, and I'm at a pool.
Drew's just out here trying to get to know the city.
Yeah.
Get to know the conference, get to know the teams, the head coaches. Drew's out here, like some of us have already done that, right, Dusty?
Yeah.
You can walk in, you know a few of the people in the PR staffs for the Chiefs and the Royals, for the Big 12. Some of the other media members, they know who you are.
Also,
Drew's just trying to get his name out there, and then Aaron's got to give him a hard time.
The Big 12 Conference has the right to decline the application for a credential.
Right.
If you're granted a credential, why would I say no to that?
Yeah.
You
didn't even have to take the credentials. You could have just been lazy, Drew. You could have just sat your ass at home, caught up on some Netflix. No one was making you go to the Big 12 tournament. No one was making you send out social posts or ask. No one was asking
I'm going to try to
any
make
of
him
that.
feel bad. If I see him today, you know what? I didn't get any food from the media. I didn't get anything from the media area today. I didn't get any food. I didn't get a snack.
Well, that's a mistake. You should definitely take advantage
because
of that.
apparently I'm not good enough to be up here.
Next time when he does that and you have my permission, say, Aaron, kiss my ass. And then if he goes, whoa, dude, whoa, be like, Dusty told me to say that. Then you're off the schneid.
He would absolutely that would be his reaction. Like, whoa, dude, I wasn't serious. I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
I don't think he was serious. I will say though, the fact that he did say acting like you're working,
Acting like. That's the offensive
Hang
part.
on a second.
Acting like you're working.
It's not your fault that he has a drinking problem, Dusty. Damn right.
Is that the rumor we're now spreading?
I went literally 18 years sober.
Good for you, Dusty.
You didn't drink till you were 18?
And then I turned 19.
Man,
I didn't drink till I was 19.
I made.
No,
wait,
I-
hold on. Had a drink or started drinking?
Started. 18 is what I would say I started.
I didn't have a drink until I was 19 years old.
Okay, I had a
I
drink.
did not grow up with alcohol in the household anyway.
I'm a
so I
degenerate, though, and I own that.
I didn't have a drink until I was 12. I didn't start drinking
Good hell.
until I was like, I don't know, 15, 16.
I just remember my sister had a graduation party, and I was 15, and I was like, well, I'm going to drink a beer. And my mother goes, and if you do, you will drink all of it. And I went, okay. And I opened it. It was a Budweiser, and I was like, this is rough.
That being that,
You got through the whole thing?
Oh, I think. I don't know.
I will not be staying for the complimentary beers tonight, but
You should.
you can catch the social media channels. I'll be posting some stuff. If K-State wins, Drum Tang will have the presser. We'll be down there. I'll tweet out some of the stuff that he had to say as well.
And also, you can hear K-State tonight, starting at
That's
5
right.
o'clock on 610 Sports Radio.
Same time as yesterday.
If you're curious if anyone wants you to be shirtless, a couple of people on the text line.
Say please.
Oh, no.
One person on Twitch, and our boss, Steven Spector, on YouTube.
Oh,
Specs on YouTube watching this?
He gets on the chat sometimes. He likes to fire in some comments here and there.
He's a chat guy.
He says shirtless. That's the way. It is so hot in here. Man.
it is really, really toasty.
Because then I would look like Kirk Cousins, but the 610 version with my work badge instead of a golden chain.
You're the
You
only
know,
one who
I-
wears the work badge.
Well, I didn't yesterday, and the big boss was up here, and I was like, oh,
Of course.
that's not a good sign. The one time I didn't wear it.
Wait, how big of a boss was that?
The
boss.
Mm.
Like Specs boss.
Mm.
Like
That boss. I thought you meant like she was
The one
with
that you-
somebody else.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who that guy was.
Well, I don't know if you heard.
He looked important.
That boss,
Oh.
the big boss of the building, asked Alex while we were in Vegas, "Is Cody drunk?"
I had you on the show, and you told me that. You said you got drunk at the front of the boss.
Yeah, I did.
I found out from Dusty, actually.
Yeah.
That's how I found out.
Well, you know,
Everybody's excited to let us know that Deshaun Wharton has signed a one-year, $2.75 million job for the Chiefs.
Three-peat.
Yep.
he's a nice depth piece. I want them to re-sign Dana.
That'd be nice.
That's who I'd like them to bring back. I've got nothing
Big
against.
Big Mike had a big year this year. I thought he was going to get the Cullen Saunders deal after what he did this year.
But the fact that he hasn't come through in these first 3 days makes me think that maybe whatever the number was, or we thought the number was, is a little bit less. But yeah, the Chiefs have brought back Turk Wharton on a 1-year, $2.75 fully guaranteed deal. Again, he was an undrafted free agent out of Missouri S&T, so he's a great find by Brad Veach.
Yeah.
He had 2 sacks last year. He's a nice depth defensive lineman who knows the system. I got nothing against
Fully
him.
guaranteed is always a nice thing to hear as a player.
Yeah.
It's not Deshaun Watson money, but still, fully guaranteed is nice.
You'll take fully guaranteed even
Absolutely.
if it's 2.75.
Cleveland deserves that contract.
Yeah, they do. I want
they made their
Jameis.
bet.
I want Jameis. I need a pregame speech from Jameis to Deshaun Watson.
Am I the
badly.
only one that loves Jameis Winston?
I love Jameis Winston.
I
He's
love
great.
Jameis Winston.
I wish he'd be a backup here.
I mean, there's no way, because could you imagine
He's
if
already back
Jameis did
somewhere
in
else
Kansas City what he did in New Orleans the last game of the year? Yeah, we were supposed to kneel it, but we decided not to. You have to play them again. No, we don't. We already played them twice this year. Well, next year. No, I don't, because I won't be with New Orleans next year.
He would be cut. Andy would cut him so quickly.
He got cut anyway.
Well,
You
yes.
shouldn't cut. Honestly, I liked his moment of honesty.
I just
wanted
that
to
was
get
a
our
great
guy a score.
moment.
And also, stop him. I hate, professional sports is the last one where we got to do a little for dignity's sake, I'll save you some face. I don't owe you jack.
Yeah.
I can put up as many points as I want on you. You're paid millions of dollars. I'm paid millions of dollars. In professional sports, there's no, I'm going to do you a favor.
He's gonna be
I don't
he's
owe
gonna be
you
eating wins.
anything.
Eating wins, baby.
Eating W's, man. And then when he did the dance in the locker room with the crutch, coming off a blown ACL.
Oh, man, that was good.
His 2 biggest flaws in his career are the team breakfast. He got on top of the table and said blank, blank. He said the derogatory statement, and then he stole crab legs.
Hey, you know what? He's the national champion in Florida State. He's beloved there. Granted, there was some sketchy stuff going on outside the crab legs as well while he was there.
Yeah. He had an Uber
not
incident.
Yeah, it was just some other stuff that is not good.
He just seems like kind of a weird dude.
He does seem like a goofy guy.
Do you think that second text on the line is the actual guy?
That'd be impressive. No, I don't. Someone's claiming to be the CEO of Odyssey on the text line.
Yeah.
Although they have an 816 area code, and
Find that
that's
hard
not
to
from the
believe.
816.
Yeah.
Go shirtless. We're closing the entire building down. They're just going to shut us down.
This person went to they went all the way to Google search the head person. I doubt that they knew this off the top of their head.
No, probably not. That would
Somebody
seem
wants me to wear
unlikely.
body paint that says I'm, because I'm not.
You're not what?
They say when I wear a body paint, says I'm better than Nick.
I'm not.
Drew, how hairy are you as a person? Before we make you go shirtless.
He doesn't seem very hairy.
I'm not.
No.
Legs, yes. Upper body, no.
How many chest hairs are we talking? 5?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Look, I'm in the same boat. That's not a judgment.
I don't know what. I have a few. I got more hair. I think.
I like it.
Gold's the hairiest one at this
I like
stage.
it that way, though. It's fine.
Ooh, I don't know. Our boss is pretty hairy, minus the head, but he's everywhere else.
That's an Aaron Ladd comment. You didn't have to mention the hair on top of his head.
Yeah, you didn't have to, but
That's fair.
He was trying to get you to go.
That's funny. I didn't think that. I feel like he'd have came in here and been like, keep it on.
You guys can go shirtless from the pub tomorrow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll be at No Other Pub tomorrow from 10 until 2. Come by and see us. We'll have some giveaways as well if you want to come out and see the show. Interact. We'll have a lot of fun out there tomorrow. Meanwhile, enjoy the rest of Big 12 basketball action. Carrington in the Drive coming up next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland